what are the odds that MOUZ don't capitulate off the back of this? What are the odds they keep it together? Because think about it, guys. Put yourself in that mental headspace for a second. You've been getting fucked, like when it comes to these important games. You can get to the point, but no further. You're the reigning Cluj champion. No one else who was good was at the event last year. Does that help you at all?
No.
Are they gonna do better than they did here? Like, does it matter if they do better? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Counter-Strike fans across the globe, welcome to my hotel room. This is HLTV Confirmed. The confetti falls and the cameras roll. There's never a dull moment around here. Quick shout out to the sponsor at stake. Remember to gamble responsibly. And we're coming to you live and direct on Kick. Oh, it's over, boys.
Yes.
The Krakows.
Yeah.
We cracked on in Krakow.
Me and Striker have been here for so long. It's really been a
tough event for you guys.
Long, strenuous tournament. 24 hours here, maybe.
It's maybe like 9.
9 hours, yeah. For you, a bit longer. I feel like
2 weeks.
Yeah,
it went pretty quick.
Yeah,
it goes quick. And Vitality the champion. So look, who would have thought? Oh wait, me. I don't know who people you guys were predicting to win.
I had an inkling towards FURIA, but more just kind of out of a wish for it to be competitive rather than anything else. You know,
they took a map.
I think it was competitive in the end, more competitive than I think maybe it could have. It might have looked at a couple of points of that. Obviously, you know, if it had been for a pistol win on Mirage, we probably wouldn't be looking at this final a little bit differently, and it would have been kind of a stomp, right? So I think in the end, reasonably competitive, some really good moments. So I think it was pretty good.
I mean, it's one of those. It's not like FURIA played pretty reasonably when you take into account what the fuck ZywOo was doing on the server throughout it. Like that Inferno game, if he just plays like a normal star game, maybe it's very close. Maybe FURIA even win it. But he was just like in every close round, in every moment where maybe FURIA can like get control of the map, he just owned everyone. So I think when you have that kind of a performance, it is what it is. You just take the L and move on.
We'll do it for the VOD viewers, right? Because we know we have a large YouTube audience these days. Final, if you missed it, well, I don't know why you're here first. You're going to get all the spoilers. But obviously, 5 map, best of 5. That's what a 5 mapper is. Went 4. The Dust 2 was the ban, which means the Ancient was floated, and then Vitality had to ban it. We weren't having a repeat of Chengdu. We kicked things off on Mirage, which was a weakness for FURIA up until this event, where they've been playing a lot and suddenly turned their fate around. Went to Inferno, went to Nuke. That was a stomp, and then Overpass was back and forth down the stretch, and then ZywOo went nuclear with like 2 4Ks in the last 2 rounds to just finish things off.
Yeah.
So that's like the state of affairs up until that point. But yeah, look, when you have Rops not playing to his level, he was making some goofball moves at certain points, right? There was even some uncharacteristic situations where he was getting shot in the side, and you never see that from Rops, right? He's never getting shot in the back or the side, but he wasn't playing to his standard Rops level. ZywOo was playing out of this world, and then you had Flames, and Flames was, for me, the multi-kills he was getting with the A4, like, it's beyond honorable mention. Without him playing to that level, they may have struggled in some of the maps. I understand they lost Mirage, but think about the CT side of Mirage. Every time that kill, the triple kill from Jungle, when he's playing under the balcony, they're coming out ramp, he gets the 4K.
Yeah.
He was massive. So shout out to Flames. I'm a big Shahar fan, so great to see him smashing it up like that. But yeah, look, competitive final, but it had that lull with Nuke. I think Nuke's what made you think, oh, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah. I mean, it was rough. That was a rough map. It was like, the one round they won was literally going into A when there was no one there. Like, that, great, props for that. You found the timing, but everything else was just getting entry killed over the whole map. And then even if it was close, Vitality, this event, especially the playoffs, like, no round was truly lost. Even on Mirage, like, I felt they're getting kind of red and owned early in the round, but every 2v4, 3v5, whatever, ended up being very close. Like, I think that the main difference between like this and maybe, I don't know, the MOUZ game is that FURIA managed to win some of those.
Yeah, Molodoi had some massive moments on Mirage, didn't he? He was insane.
Yeah, so that was that was the difference. It's just like fuck. Yeah, but it could have been a 3-0 realistically.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
It should have been probably even.
9-3 first half, and they had some opportunities. Molotov made some magic happen. There was that round with K Serrato on the A site where he's in.
Oh
Bro,
my
how
God,
did he stay alive for that
so
long?
long?
That was wild, right? Playing around in that smoke, dropping the flash, getting another kill. I'm like, what?
And it
is
was also
going
like
on?
that could have also gone wrong. Like the moment that I think it was Yekindar who got the spam off on the guy who's like popping off out of balcony,
Yeah.
and he would have killed the Caserado. Site is lost, and probably the map is lost at that point, So like really hinged on nothing almost the whole Mirage finish. But still, I mean, I think that's what made me feel like this final is actually exciting from that point on. I think, yeah, again, other than Nuke, I think we actually did get a pretty good final. We didn't get to see a lot of the finish on Overpass because we were just moving over to here. But clearly, Furia took the fight to Vitality, at least there too.
Yeah, I said to Kinga, the talent manager, I was like, okay, listen, I got a podcast to do. If Vitality win the T-side pistol and the conversions, I got to go.
Yeah.
She was, all right, shuttle ready. And then they did, and I was like, well, we're out of here. Like at that point, I'm already saying Overpass is over. And I understand Furia turned it into a bit of a game, right? They won their T-side pistol. They brought back that first half. But then just the statement and Apex in the post-game interview on stage right there saying the way that ZywOo performed, probably the best in a big game like that. That's been one of the criticisms of ZywOo is like these massive games. Where are you doing the simple-esque shit?
Yeah.
And when he has 2 back-to-back rounds, which aren't like crazy jumping but they're just these 4Ks where the confidence is there. The first one, repeat, repeat, but then play the time. It was beautiful to watch and him shut it down like that with the tournament that he's had. We had the classic thing where I'm reading the comments and people are like, yeah, but they're run. And I'm like, yeah, they're the highest seed. Or I guess Furia was the highest seed. Vitality was second highest seed, right? Higher seeds are going to have easier runs. That's how tournament seeding works.
How it works,
right?
yes.
You by being a good team get given advantages in these scenarios because you've earned the right.
But who else are they supposed to beat though? Except you want to say Spirit, but Spirit lost to Furia. So like, who else do you want them realistically?
I think it's more the group stage run, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's
It was
whatever.
like what BC game into 3D Max into
Aurora.
Yeah.
Aurora was
right.
the last one
Yes.
because they beat MOUZ and Falcons. So it is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that was the 53 kill ancient game from ZywOo or whatever.
But it's still an Aurora in the group stage, not an Aurora in the playoffs. So it's actually a competitive. It ends up being a competitive game. Like it was obviously.
But I think we need to glaze ZywOo a bit more.
Oh, you want to keep glazing?
Yeah, keep the glaze going.
I was just going off on him. It was a monster.
Yeah. I mean, but you did.
He's a bywoo.
Yeah, but he had 3 shit rounds on Nuke.
Oh no!
Yeah, he did start kind of. Slow.
Did you see the beginning of Nuke? He was just like whiffing pistol shots in the first round, and he was whiffing in the second round as well. Then he also did something stupid in round 3. Ends up fucking 180 for the map in the end.
By round 8, he was like 12-3. Yeah. So he just like I think.
Uh,
So that's the extent that ZywOo haters got to eat.
Yeah.
This whole entire series.
I mean, just his like speed of multi kills is not something you really think of ZywOo as like his forte, and he showed it in this final quite a bit, especially at these 2 last final rounds of the grand final.
Last round.
The penultimate and ultimate rounds. Not ultimate, even though ultimate played pretty good.
He did
this
best tournament in a while.
I think that'll just like it will be engraved in people's memory for a while. How he played there, and it's just it was cool to see Apex tell the hater to fuck off.
What was it? 90 kills over the 4 maps, which is an average of 22.5 kills per map.
Yeah.
You know what was impressive to me, like out of this whole ZywOo performance, that where I was just like, this guy can just do whatever, and like this is like quintessential ZywOo. Was like the Mirage round, where I think was Caserado was flanking in pits. And it was like a 2v3 or something. Fallen was flanking in pits. It was like 2v3.
Right? Yeah.
ZywOo's sandwich. First of all, like classic ZywOo. Like Fallen had such a good timing that I felt like, okay, he's not gonna know this time. Like it's too fast. He's not gonna know. It's gonna be like 2 seconds off. He's gonna be too fast. No, fucking ZywOo with eyes in the back of his head knows that Fallen's coming. Not only that, he gets that kill with like
flash.
nice like mechanical little play, and he fucking like literally as he finishes the kill, he takes out a flash, sees Robs being mollied out of
corner.
We call it goblin in Australia. I don't know what it's called in the rest of the world.
I actually don't know. Firebox. No, Firebox is the other one.
Some people say ninja, but ninja can also
be
the
opposite of ninja, like the opposite of ninja, kind of like
reverse.
I don't know. Anyway, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Like ZywOo was just about to get mollied off, and obviously going to be in a shit position where he's going to get
Robs,
double peeked out of Robs double peeked out of CT. Literally, ZywOo finishes the kill. The moment he finishes the kill, takes out the flash, helps Robs, who gets the kill on the CT guy,
Wins
who's
the
about
round.
to peek him, wins the 2v3 round.
Yeah.
You know, that's like it. This is what ZywOo does.
Yeah.
Like he will do everything well.
Yanko in the green room made a good point when that was happening, because Fulham was flanking, but the guys CT weren't throwing any nades or drawing any attention, which meant that ZywOo had a moment to, you know, actually think, oh shit, is there a flank, right? So, you know, there's little details right there, but still the flash, you see it in the replay, it lands perfectly, Rob swings out, gets the kill. At that point, it's like, then they hide. You get it in the comms piece as well, playing either after the map or in one of the breaks. And but they're having a chat, like we're not having a chat. You can hear Flames, he's dead, but he's doing a lot of comming for the guys and stuff. And I think the team was even calling for ZywOo to throw that flash. So there was a lot of things.
Was it called by a team, or?
I think somebody was like someone. So like there was a lot of talking going on. I'd have to go back and rewatch it, but there was definitely a lot of chit chat. But still, even if someone tells you to flash, you don't have to flash. And second of all, it could have been a bad flash.
Yeah.
So, you know, to be able
and it's
to
also like
execute
you're
it.
just about finishing a kill. Usually, like your first instinct will probably be to turn, right? Not to like literally not even turned. Like you're already pulling out the
full
flash.
faith.
Like, it's insane.
Exactly.
Like that's so much awareness in the moment, and like not getting caught up in the pressure of it. And like you're in a 2v3, your teammate's about to die. You know, all these things. Like this is what ZywOo does with like ease. Yeah. And it's just you're in awe watching him play when he's at this kind of a level.
Yeah, as Apex said, the best player in the world. That being said, this game and this tournament has nothing to do about him being the best player in the world last year. Just gonna say that as well.
That is fair.
But I think these type of finals where ZywOo does that will reinforce what people say he lacks, right?
Yeah.
Because this whole GOAT conversation, people take the angle of he's obviously an amazing player. No one disputes that. But what they say is this cultural impact thing, right?
Yeah.
Using the Zoomer words and Aurora and this, that, and the other. But with ZywOo playing like this in a final and it now being as part of the Vitality legacy, he cements himself, if there was the doubters or the haters, as this guy ain't fucking about, right? Like this guy, if you were questioning, is he the real deal or is it just a strong team? This team don't even feed ZywOo in the same way that stars of the past have been fed.
Even Donk, like ZywOo's not getting dropped guns every single time he's possibly can be.
Donk's dropped a gun every round.
Exactly. Like Donk always will have, if somebody has a gun, it's always Donk.
Yep.
That doesn't happen with ZywOo.
And it makes sense for this Donk. Don't get me wrong. Of course, like, you're going to get that output, but ZywOo, they're functioning in a different complexion of the team. Like there's a level of respect there because keep in mind, Apex had some bonkers moments as well. Like not necessarily in this final. He did have some good moments still. But against MOUZ yesterday, he was fucking destroying him.
Bro had Snacks cosplay moment.
Underpass push. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That was early on Mirage. That's when I thought they were fucking done.
That was like round 3 or something.
They couldn't even hit a shot on him. And it's like the aim wasn't great from anybody. You know, it was labored. And I was like, holy shit, this is going to be a dumpster.
The overpass, I think they were down, up 4-0. And then it was like 2v4, 2v something. It was Flames and Apex, I think, going into B side.
Yes.
And then he like kills one guy, throws a nade, kills the second guy while the nade kills the third. He's just like, oh, and now we have the whole site, and he has like another smoke, and he get repositions and everything. So he had like that's a sick moment.
But good creative moments overall. Like there's also on overpass there where the heaven boost comes in and Flames is able to constrict them rotating in from CT. There's like 3 or 4 of them attempting to rotate in from CT. He's been boosted heaven once they've got site control. And that's not an angle they're ready for. And he gets 2 kills from that position. And it's like, well, your retake's completely fucked. So it just overall, you love to see it from Vitality because going up against FURIA, this was a bit of a bane for them. You think of the Chengdu final, they lost that in 3 maps. They were all close maps, but that was a while ago. So to win this time round, that's going to be nice. And it's a bit of revenge there. I think, again, I agree with your sentiment. They probably feel they could have got it done in 3. They'll be kicking themselves that they let Mirage slip, but that probably
they're not going to kick themselves. They're not going to kick themselves now for it.
True,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't. It's the win's the win. But that map loss is their only map loss in the whole tournament. Otherwise, it would have been a clean sweep.
And it would have also been mostly convincing if that Mirage had gone the way that we would have expected. Basically, they had one close map one close map plus one close half. Basically, the entire tournament, which is the triple overtime.
Yes, everything else was single digits.
Everything else was single digits.
So Overpass was close, double digit. They lost Mirage. Inferno had moments, but what was that?
There was one moment where it could have gotten close. Yeah,
it was like 13. Was it 13-9 on Inferno? Or
8, I think. 8 even, I think. Yeah.
So it's pretty dominant run, all things considered, right? And that's what you want when you are the higher seeds taking on the lower seeds. They took care of business. Now, as well, just for in the ecosystem, in the universe, winning Krakow. They only need one more tournament now to win the Grand Slam. So it's either because they won Dallas, they won EPL, and they've won Krakow. So all they need now, they're not attending EPL, They need to win
Rio or Atlanta.
Exactly. And they're going to be in both. Hashtag spoiler. So there's a very good opportunity they win it before Cologne.
But, I mean, yeah, high likelihood for sure. Yeah,
So that's pretty crazy.
that is insane.
So
yeah.
Spirit,
two Grand Slam is in what, year and a half, let's say, because
Yes.
they started it in Cologne last year.
2024.
Yeah, so a little bit less than 2 years. 2 Grand Slams would be kind of insane, and they are favored to do it at this point.
But I want to interject something here. We'll continue with this, but just in the Grand Slam convo, Spirit have Cologne. If they win EPL, that gives them 2. Did Spirit say they were attending Rio or not?
I don't know. I
I'll
just know
check.
that they're not attending Atlanta.
How would you know? Like, you want to check privately, or
Well, Rio's announced.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rio's done.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm having a struggle.
yeah, it was actually. Yeah, it was. I
A
was-
struggle?
To just like follow all of these tournament announcements and fucking
Spirit
everything.
are going to be in Rio.
They are?
So let's say, okay, this could be fun. Oh, yeah, but then they're not going to be in Atlanta. I was going to say, wouldn't it be fun, right? If
so it would have to come down to Cologne.
Yeah.
If Vitality
and
doesn't- okay.
Spirit versus Vitality Grand Final in
That would
Cologne
be kinda cool.
for the Grand Slam and the major.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
long way away. I don't think we can get too
I
excited
know,
about
but
that
I
one
like
right
to,
now.
you know, I like to
I
think
like the-
about
you
the
like the
story.
trees.
It's also the major, so kind of the Grand Slam kind of wouldn't matter that much at that point.
Well, I think for the legacy of like Apex building this goal setting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't matter.
But
I'm not-
major
I'm not-
trumps everything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to.
But it's
equate
also
the two.
major on top of Grand Slam, and I mean, like,
it would be a special moment.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be many. Well, there isn't another major Grand Slam, right? You know, so
No.
That's
that
only
it could be a unique thing
yeah.
until the ESL major in 2028. So it could happen
Yep.
again then, but that's eons away at this point. So what do we make of FURIA in that final? Molotov is great in patches, but he entered the lowest stats out of everybody in the team for the 4.
Yeah. That's kind of rough for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those where I didn't really notice it. It's not like, for example, if you think of Shiro yesterday.
What, him dropping off?
Yeah, I didn't really
Okay.
notice it in the game that much. It was just so overshadowed by Vitality playing well, and it's also kind of hard to see both sides of the coin when you're watching the game sometimes. So maybe I was just hyper focusing on Vitality, but that was I didn't really notice him being necessarily bad.
yeah. I mean, all throughout Inferno, what I was looking at was just like him getting flashed off every angle all the time, and like ZywOo having his number, and just like kind of playing basic things, like nothing too crazy. But just, he just didn't really have like that many opportunities when he did have the op, and he didn't have it that much. So
Nuke, they play T side. There's not really a lot for him to do there, right? On the CT, they didn't
and every
really have
time
a
he had
chance.
an op, like Vitality were playing super passive, he didn't really have opportunities, you know. So it's difficult to get those.
Someone said Molotov did choke a lot. FURIA lost because of him. They wouldn't have won Mirage without him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have even been in a conversation.
Yeah, I don't know.
without him.
I mean,
like
he is
Pop,
the
I don't-
opper, so if you just look at the numbers, you want him to do more. But I don't know. I'm not saying he played amazing. I'm just saying that I didn't really notice him necessarily
like making mistakes or anything. Yeah,
I know he was. I got reports from people, you know, on the ground,
On the ground?
who
OTG?
said after the Nuke game he was fucking spitting chips. And
I don't know
do you
what
need me
that
to
means.
translate?
That means-
he wasn't happy.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
not happy. He was
Yeah.
he was furious after.
I
the-
mean, as I said, like what is he supposed to do?
Yeah, he
That's-
was 415 at that on
yeah,
Nuke.
and
It's
that's
rough.
probably what he was not. He was not a happy lad. So, which is fair enough. But yeah. Then you're hearing these conversations. Fallen's very candid about talking about retirement and all this stuff.
Bro,
Never
can't
giving
stop
a date.
talking. Can't stop talking about retirement.
Yeah, like he's looking forward to it. But it's like, man, I got such a good team. I guess I'll just keep playing.
Yeah.
But you wonder, will this be his last crack at this trophy? Obviously, we're in a new location.
Well, very likely. Yeah.
You reckon this is it? Because we've
Like-
been here before.
Look, like I feel like it's ramping up so much, like this talk about him like hanging up the mouse, that I feel like it's got to happen
But
within
like
the next year.
the podcast that you did with him, no one was asking him about it. He just brought it up himself.
Yeah.
He's just like, I was thinking maybe retiring, And it's like, okay, I mean, go on, but it's fine.
Yeah.
We're not going to ask you. And it feels like it's constantly. Yakindar also mentions it all the time. He's like, well, you don't know what's going to happen with Fallen, blah, blah. He just mentioned in his top 20 interview, he's like, well, you don't know. So I've never seen a player being him directly talking about it and his team as well talking about it so much. But like that's kind of either a person just retires or he is in this weird position where his team kind of wants him to not retire, but he wants to retire.
How many
Usually it's the other
players-
way around.
How many players have we had retire on the top or near the top? Right? Think about that.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely no one.
I can't.
Like Dupree
nobody
is
comes to
probably the
mind.
closest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was also after a year where
Falcons
I mean
down,
the Falcons
down.
year
Yeah.
definitely like that was on the
Yeah.
way down. So that wouldn't have been. Yeah, not even.
What you're reading?
Kick chat is hilarious.
What
Someone
happened?
wrote Alex.
Oh, yeah,
I was like machine.
that's what I was also like. my
Oh
first thought.
mate, that's some people are really funny. I love them. Comedians in the chat. It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't think of anybody really.
No,
Like the closest one to but it's more about not necessarily being on top as much as it felt kind of short was Olaf in a way.
he had the injury, right?
no.
Well, that was like
Didn't Olaf have an injury?
there was like a thing where he was out and then he was back in, and like some of these like
And he got replaced by
ins
Ross.
and outs. And so like in ways it felt a little bit abrupt, like the way that he exited the scene, because like it was this whole phase thing where like he was coming back in for stand instance, then he was
Yeah.
not, but he was not really actively playing. So that's like the first one that came to mind for me.
Well, some people say he's still not retired. So
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Including himself. a
In the
fucking
Hall
troll.
of Fame now,
Yeah.
as someone on the committee, that might cause some issues. So
We need to look into that.
Yeah. Someone said I retired at the top.
At
So
the
yeah,
okay.
that's fair enough.
At the top of Australia.
yeah.
At the top of Australian Counter-Strike.
Did you guys
could say
watch
that.
the third, fourth playoff game? You were driving, I imagine.
Oh no,
No.
we were here.
We're in the press room. It was in the
we were
back.
like half watching, half not, because I mean,
That's what the Counter-Strike world was doing.
yeah.
yeah.
I was full watching.
Yeah.
You were full watching?
I was full watching.
I can't.
Really? Well, okay,
Hold up,
you were casting it.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
doing my best.
Well, we had casters in the past, like watching something else while casting. So
Yeah, well, look, I'm not
shout out
watching
one
any.
time. He's not here with us anymore. So say the kissed.
Well, he hasn't,
Amazing.
He hasn't passed away. You made it sound like.
I know. Shout out one time, still alive.
Yeah.
Say the kissed.
Yeah, but no, it's a tough game to cast. Alex and I obviously did the first
Yeah.
one in the return to the circuit last year with Cluj, and that was the Astralis versus FaZe game,
Yeah.
which turned out to
That
be a
was
bit
great,
of fun.
right?
There was a lot of we had to fill like 40 minutes or something because I think Device was sick. So there was like a lot of times where, and then they
yeah,
brought
right.
us out the beers and whatever, and we had a bit of fun with it. And then since then, it seems like it's getting a bad rap, but I'll die on this hill. It's still better than Showmatch. And then I get these people who come at me when I make that comment and they go, yeah, but just get like the legends, get old VP back together and they can play against old NIP. And it's like, do you know how much money it would
That
cost
is a
to
lot,
get those
yeah.
10 players to take the time to come and play a Showmatch?
Yeah.
I don't
Just
think,
the flights and staying.
I mean, it's
over
not
one
even the
night
money,
is, like
like-
enough.
well,
Yeah,
it is, but it is the money. No,
Money is always like people would come if they don't really have anything to do for like not too much, but if you really want them to take time off of their life, off of other stuff that they are doing, then yeah, that is going to be like $5K per person, minimum $10K. Depends on who.
It depends on who, right? If
Yeah.
you want to get Pasha,
Yeah, I mean, he
Maybe
was
more.
here already, right?
yeah, but he was
But-
here doing
and then-
stuff for EWC
And,
stuff.
then say, is it worth like 50,000 euros for that game?
No, and
it's
then,
not.
And then the other thing is, I was talking with someone today in the Discord I got going, and they were like, "Oh, just get the third, fourth place teams to do it." I'm like, "For what?" And he was like, "The prize money." I'm like, "No, but this is that's for the circuit. You can't give the." And then he was like, "They should play like a community map." I'm like, "What are we talking about now?" So it's better we just have one potential compromise. I wonder how the teams would feel about this because they obviously don't want to go there. Well, it's not they don't want to go there, but they want to be in the final, and they're not in the final, right?
Sure.
That's the truth of what if it was a best of one, not a best of three?
I heard that suggested today by somebody. I can't remember who.
But the
Great
thing
minds,
is,
whoever said it.
numbers don't lie. I think the numbers, I didn't look, but they're still decent.
Was it? I don't look. I never look at numbers. I never look at numbers.
They're usually decent, and it's just like, why not? Farm some
Yeah.
hours.
I mean, people are still gonna watch Donk play.
Yeah.
Well, that's
so-
the thing. Like when Donk's in the server, it's always going to be fun.
Yeah.
But it wasn't him popping off. It was
Not
Shiro and
particularly
Tania.
yeah.
Right, those two were playing well. Zontix had some moments. Donk always had a couple moments. I think though the angle I was framing it from, this is a new roster, more reps for Magic as an in-game leader,
Yeah.
stage game for Tania to feel more comfortable, more maps under their belt. They'd only played a handful of maps at that point together
Yeah.
since 2026 has started.
Yeah, the only problem I have with that is just that you can tell the vibe of the game is not quite a stage game. You can tell.
Yeah, but with how
nobody's
MOUZ
taking it as
played in their
seriously.
stage games, mate, it was better than that. I'll tell you that much. I know
I
they got
can understand.
ragdolled, but like seeing looser Counter-Strike because of the tone made the game more enjoyable.
Okay.
Wanna do the what are the odds and then move on to the other
Oh
teams?
shit! Okay, I guess that's related. Huh? Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Let's do what are the odds because it's related to the teams in the final.
All right.
By the way, I was right about the fucking odds about the final. That was the only one
you
who
can't be
went
right
low.
about the odds. That doesn't even make sense.
I
That's
mean,
not
that
even
was-
how it
You
works.
said 33.3%.
36.
Yeah. Yours was a better take.
What did I
Thank
say? 50%.
Yeah, I said a lot.
Well, it didn't happen, so I was right too.
Yeah.
50%.
enough.
I can't read that, Prof. What does that say? Oh, here it comes. I still
okay.
can't read it.
So, what are the odds presented by Stake?
Oh, sponsor.
What are the odds that Krakow winner, like the team that won, go back to back in Cluj?
Ooh.
See, I did a great question because I didn't know who was going to win,
Ooh.
but it still works regardless of the victory, of the victor.
Ooh. Okay. So
Um,
difference is 16 teams, no Spirit Swiss groups, 8-team playoff.
Oh, no Spirit.
No Spirit in Cluj.
And who else? Who else?
Famously,
who-
Halley said they didn't know
yeah,
that they're going to
right.
have
They
so
didn't
many
expect
good
it to be
teams.
so good.
That's a take.
That's another reason why that third place decided was more important for Spirit.
Sure.
VRS
A little
points,
bit more.
'cause they're not
a
going to
little
play
bit
again
more.
for 4 weeks to the EPL. and
Yeah,
that's
still,
online.
but they're fine. Like, you don't really care about that stuff unless you start falling out of the top 8. Let's say, you know.
Let's
so
see what
like,
happens at the EPL.
Of course, like if they are shit, like maybe in 3 months' time we realize it was important by
Let's
the
talk
end.
about
you
it.
know,
We're
but-
talking about not
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry
yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
Get back on track, guys.
Okay, so
All right,
people
all
in
right.
chat, they're giving their opinions right now. Hopefully, Lucas throws up a poll and we can get that one whacked in.
Okay.
So that would assume that Vitality sweep the field again. So if I'm thinking about it, who are threats in my opinion? And people can laugh. I don't care. That's why it's my opinion. I think the real threats to Vitality are still FURIA, Spirit,
Falcons.
and Falcons.
Yeah.
Now Spirit won't be there, so take them out of the picture.
Mhm.
I don't. We'll talk about MOUZ in a minute. I find it hard to think like FaZe. They need a bounce back, but a bounce back wouldn't see them winning. It'd be making playoffs. That would be a FaZe bounce back. So what are the chances Vitality win Cluj? With the level of Counter-Strike they played, the limited maps that they showed, and the learnings that they had from going from the Austin win into the tournament break, coming out of that and being shaky, they know that they've signed themselves up for 3 straight tournaments. 3 straight tournaments with Bounty. I am so much of, right now, this is just so reminiscent to me of being in Astralis' era. This is what this is to me. When I'm watching, right, obviously it's not the blueprint of Counter-Strike that everyone's trying to catch up to, but there are just levels to Vitality that nobody else has. I'm fucking nuts, everybody. I'm going 75%.
Yeah, that's not reasonable, but
It's not mathematically reasonable, but doesn't mean it's wrong.
Maths for fucking pussies.
Right. The idea is if you're very confident.
Yeah, even if you're a big favorite, like let's say odds-wise, you know, even if you're a really big favorite, you get like 20% at best.
Yeah.
For a tournament, you know. So I'll go above that. I'll go 30% just because I think that they are quite heavily going to be the favorites to do it. But I also see it as a tournament that they don't necessarily care about as much as.
Then why would they sign up?
No, but I mean, they've signed up to tournaments before, and they've obviously prioritized ones over others, right?
But
Like,
I don't know why they would do
that...
it. Why would they do it if they didn't care about winning it? There's a reason they want to go to
I'm not
a PGL
saying
event.
they don't care about winning it, but I'm saying like it's going to be on the lower end than Krakow, where they are like at their absolute highest, like prep between matches all the time. Like they're putting up as much effort into it as possible. They're not going to do that in Cluj, realistically. Maybe they will still, because they will have EPL off, so they will have like a good month off after this. So maybe they'll still keep this going. But just thinking about it as a tournament, I don't see them viewing it as that prestigious as a tournament as Krakow. So I don't think that necessarily they will put like 100% effort into it as it goes through. But yeah, again, like they've obviously planned it out in a way where they will have like some fucking, again, Apex will go on fucking Maldives vacation or some shit after that.
Yeah.
So they will have time off.
I think the thing in terms of prioritizing, for me, it's more about what you do before the tournament than during the tournament. I feel like when you're at the tournament, it doesn't really.
You'll be locked in.
You're locked in.
Yeah.
80, like 90, 95% is the same regardless of what tournament it is. And it's more about what you do before. And for this tournament, it's like there's nothing to do before. Then they're going to take a few days off. And even if they come super rusty in the first or second game, it's a Swiss. They'll get to the playoffs, and then it doesn't really matter. And the prep before is all the prep they did for Krakow. So I think I'm like 60%.
Damn. Okay.
Cool.
I know it sounds crazy, but that's because that's how good I think they are. And I think that this is dynasty territory that we're in, right? I have no reason to think that they're going to slow. I look at what happened in Bounty. This is the thing, everyone. This is why I'm so hard line on this. This is why when Bounty happens, and I'm like, it's a fucking warm-up tournament. And the 2 teams who are in the grand final of Bounty didn't even make it to the playoffs. Didn't even make it to the playoffs,
Yeah.
guys. So 2 weeks ago, everyone was like, oh, Paravision, they're the next best thing. It's like, they're good and they will be good. But let's understand this because it's very important for people to be able to calculate what's where. Okay, we got the odds on screen. What does that say? $1.75 to 2.33?
Yeah.
Damn, my eyes are fucking good.
Yeah.
That's What Are the Odds brought to you by Stake.
Yes.
And are we going to do the top comment?
Yeah, I'll do the Stake promotion. Top comment for later.
Lock it in.
Weekly reload from Stake and HLTV. Claim it via support. Use code HLTV.org and you'll get a $35 bonus across 7 days. So check it out. There's a link in the description of the channel on Kick.
All right, remember to gamble responsibly. Okay, okay.
After this, we have Skinionaire.
I can see that.
Yeah, to set it up for the rest of the playoffs.
Okay, all right. So you did the Skinionaire or did Dimitri?
I did it.
Okay.
Right.
So everyone knows what to type in chat right now. You guys know what to do. Type the code word in chat. I'm gonna bring it up on my phone. I'll have it here, Striker. You and I can look at it.
I can't fucking see it.
That's
from
right.
here.
We'll have
There's
it.
no chance.
And I've got to turn my grayscale off because it's bedtime.
I don't really mind.
Okay, so we're gonna do Who Wants to Be a Skinionaire?
Show you some before you go. Last message for you.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah,
I saw it.
Okay. Will it rotate? That's the question. There we go.
Yeah,
rotate.
perfect. We're
Okay.
ready.
Who wants to be a Skinionaire? Oh, he's already done question number 1. Sorry, Luke. Everyone needs to type the code word in the Twitch chat, Kick chat. That's what I meant to say. Question 1. What rating did Magic finish the last game in Krakow with? The last game.
As in last series.
I forgot he played the
Well, then
third
it's
place.
6-7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was
Yeah,
me.
sure.
I saw Maui tweeted or someone. I saw someone tweet
It
it.
was 6-7.
So that
People
one's-
caught on to it very quickly. Don't worry.
yeah, he had a bit of a meh.
Yeah.
But
161 was the other answer. That was his Shanghai.
Well,
grand
I wasn't
final.
going to guess that one. I watched him play.
Yeah.
He had a tough go. Always had an SMG or a pistol, Paul Boris. All right, question number 2. How many maps of Anubis were played in Krakow playoffs? Zero. Zero. None. Not a single one. Oh, shit. Fucking freaking out. Okay, 0 locked in. Correct answer, 0. Okay, 2 from 2. We're nailing this.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go.
We're nailing this.
Next question. Read the answers as well for the
Oh,
audio
yes.
listeners.
Sorry, audio-only listeners. Sorry, guys. Question 3. According to the VRS, how many non-top 10 teams were in the playoffs? None, one, or multiple? How many non-top 10? G2.
Non-top 10 teams.
Was G2
G2,
top 10?
VRS. Ooh.
How many
I think
non-top
they
10 teams?
might be out of top 10 on VRS.
Well, it was either G2 or
This
Aurora.
is according to what's on HLTV on the event page. So I think that gets locked.
so just,
Then it would be-
before I think
yeah,
it
Then it
would
would
have
be
been.
none.
Yeah,
When
because
they
it gets updated all the time. So it'd be
Yeah,
hard to-
yeah.
Weren't they 10th?
I don't know what they were. I mean, they were somewhere on the edge for sure. Then anybody else? Aurora must
It was
have been.
either Aurora or G2 because MOUZ, Spirit,
FURIA,
Vitality,
Vitality
and
easily,
Furia all
yeah,
100%.
they're
So
all
it's one of those two.
Mm,
Were G2 outside of the top
I think
10?
Aurora must be in. G2, I'm not convinced
Weren't
about. I'm
Bait-
not 100% convinced
Weren't
about.
Bait like 10th or something?
Somewhere there, yeah.
So what, should we go with 1 to be safe?
I look. I have a feeling like G2 were just on the outside, but I'm not 100% certain.
All right, let's go with 1. It's fine to be wrong. It's not our skins. Correct answer is multiple.
What?
Aurora
Both
and,
of them?
and G2.
Really?
Yeah. G2 is 10, not 10, 11, I think. And this was Aurora's 13th.
What?
Fuck. Okay. Well,
That's
well,
crazy.
we're closer than none. All right. Question number 4. Who from MOUZ had the highest rating in the game versus Vitality, Spinks, Exertion, or Brolin? Oh my God. I feel like it has to be Brolin, but I don't actually know. Brolin had the most impact, but he's also not a beta. So maybe Brolin had the most impact.
Man, I knew, and I just
Braun
because I'm between. It's not Zershin. I know it's not Zershin. He had a really shit. I think he had a shit game.
Spinks had a good series against G2.
Yes.
Do you want a useless fun fact?
Yes.
There was another player that had the same rating
Okay, that doesn't help.
as
Braun had a
the-
good map.
I think Torji also played okay. Like he killed a lot of them coming mid to B and stuff with the AWP on Dust 2.
I feel like it was still Spinks, but I don't know. It was between Spinks and Brolin for me. You can decide.
I'm going to go with Brolin.
Okay.
Because even if it's not, again, not our skins. Correct answer is Brolin.
yeah, good
Yeah,
job.
Brolin was it was in that mode where it was like, I have to make plays, otherwise we're going to lose. The poor guy didn't have any fucking help. He had no help at all. So we got
No
4
help.
out of the 5 there, and I can
Not
see
too
a bunch
bad.
of people putting in the code. Lucas is going to draw. Is there more than 5 questions, Luke?
That's 1-1.
No,
more,
1-1.
My
Okay.
God. Guys, it's late, all right?
God, MOUZ design.
So by the way, it was Brolan 098, Gympat 098, Exertion 078, Spinks 071,
Oh, even.
Torji 068, and actually number of kills Spinks 17, lowest.
Whoa.
on the team.
Okay.
Nice. All right. Final question. Who managed an ace in the semi/quarters? Fallen, Donk, ZywOo, no one.
And this is quarters and semis.
Quarters or semis.
Or some, yeah, right.
Donk had one stolen today.
Yeah, I don't remember his donk ace in the semis. I don't think he had one. Why do I keep thinking
Fallen
Fallen?
get an ace? I know he had the 1v5. Did he get? I feel like I remember Harry and Hugo saying ace at some point.
Yeah. I don't think it was ZywOo. I also don't remember an ace from him.
No, me either. They dominated them, but I don't remember him getting an ace.
Yeah.
Like they absolutely mauled them. The amount of eco wins.
Yeah,
was
so it's either
stupid.
Fallen or no one, I think, because donk. I think I would have remembered the donk ace.
All right, I'll let you pick. What do you want?
Oh, fuck me. For some reason, my gut feeling was going Fallen. I'm not.
Well,
I really don't know.
It feels like, why is he on the list? I'm going with it.
Here's your math approach.
My math approach.
Oh, I'm going with Fallen.
Then it's no one. Then it's no one.
Lock it in, Fallen. Correct answer is no one. Sad.
Okay, I don't know why, but like when the Fallen name came up, I was like,
There was
get an
at
ace
the
here?
end of the new
4K.
4K, the Molodey like sneaked in one, and I think Harry did say going for the ace to
Right,
close
right,
it off or
okay.
something. And that's why I thought that's why I got the question, because I thought, did he get an ace?
So we got 3 out of 5 right.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 out of 5. Look, it's not bad. It's not great. And you know what? Sometimes we got to get them wrong, guys. Because if we get them right all the time, why don't we just give away $50 every week?
Yeah.
And do it in food stamps or
Yeah.
something. Just change it up. Just mix it up. All right. The winner is Ganaf with 3 A's. Congratulations. Our people will contact your people and we'll get you your $7.50 skin. Congratulations. You can sell it and you can buy some keys to open cases. Gamble responsibly. All right. That's who wants to be a
go
Skinionaire.
responsibly.
Yeah. So I guess this opens up the discussion now to talk a little bit more about the other teams. So
Yes.
we were just talking about the third, fourth game, which Spirit did end up coming out on top over MOUZ. So MOUZ, Spirit, G2, Aurora. Those are the names. Which one perks your interest the most?
Wait,
here?
what did you say? Who came on? You said Spirit came over
MOUZ.
Third, fourth.
Yeah.
They,
I am a bit sick. Someone wrote in chat.
oh, what's
Just-
wrong?
I just have a bit of a cold.
It's going around.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Not as
say
sick as I would though.
somewhat of a crazy thing, which doesn't necessarily say that I think he's to blame for a semifinal or anything like that. But I think I was slightly disappointed with donk for the semifinal.
Here we go, bro went there.
Okay.
Bro went there.
I
Well,
think
now we need to investigate. Why?
there were a few situations where I think on Mirage, there were a couple of situations where he just gave up 5v3s, like where he's just like going ahead of the team like too far and like giving up key rounds, or not even key rounds. I think one of them they ended up winning, but it ended up being like a 1v1 that like should never have been anywhere close. They would have had the money, and you know from there on, they would have had a much better control of the game and would have probably or could have won the map maybe. Off of that, there was another one I fucking can't remember now.
I'm having a
because
look. So just to remind everybody, the maps in the series were Mirage, Dust 2, and Nuke. They won Dust 2. They are undefeated on Dust 2 with this roster this year. Mirage was very close. They could have won that. And then Nuke essentially was a blowout, but scoreline 13-7. So which, are you talking about Mirage?
Mirage, I was talking about a couple of situations. There was one more on the other two maps that I can't bring up in my mind at this point, but I just felt like it's not like he played a bad game or anything like that. But obviously, you know, donk. It's a little bit unfortunate that we hold donk to a very high standard at this point.
Yeah.
And obviously the rest of the team didn't
Still had a
really show up.
1.43 rating.
I was gonna say like the rest of the team obviously didn't really show up around him, and he still had a great series overall. But I think if you're a player that needs to show up to this degree, you kind of have to make sure that you don't make mistakes like that sometimes.
But this what he does. Like when the frustrations, like my team are a bunch of fucking bots, I'm just going to go and insert my will on the server and try and get a multi-kill.
Yeah, I think that makes complete sense when it's like situations where like you're the one who like is under pressure to make a play
He
right.
feels
But
that
like,
every time.
I know, but then like if you're in 5v3s, that's why I'm saying like why do IGLs keep making stupid moves and advantages? You know, like because you don't have to, you shouldn't.
True.
And this was the same couple of situations. Like people can go back through it. I can't remember like the exact rounds. One of them was like as they were 5v3, there was like a smoke in front of connector, and he came out of the stairs, and Case Rado was just behind it. Case Rado? Couldn't have been Case.
No, probably Molder with op.
Yes.
I think it was Molder with op, but the smoke.
No,
was
I think it
also...
was Case which was just behind the smoke, and he was like, he knew that there was somebody just behind the smoke, and he just picked off donk on stairs.
Yeah.
Ended up being a 4v3 from there. Just kind of ended up close.
I don't know if that's the same round, but there was a round where that smoke was kind of whiffed. And it was Magic's throwing the smoke. The smoke didn't really land properly for him to go through the smoke safely into stairs from that angle, right?
Yeah, but there he got screwed by the missed smoke.
Yeah, but that was a different round because I think that was like a 5v5.
No, I'm not talking about that. I was talking about like clearly two advantageous rounds where like it was just the classic thing of donk. Exactly what you're saying, like trying to do too much because he feels like he's under pressure to do everything, right? Which is, he shouldn't be in that position in the first place in a team like this. Again, I'm not saying he should be blamed for losing in the semi. He had a great fucking game. I'm just saying, like, if you are that type of a player, and if you know your team relies so heavily on you, you shouldn't, overstep to that degree. Like especially if you're in advantages like that. So I think there were a couple of situations like that. However, I do think that there are just moments where you can tell that they are still not quite. They just haven't had the time together to polish a couple of these things.
Well, they're running just a lot of defaults, and the defaults are slow. And it's like, if you're doing that, which is fine, they're just going through the motions in my mind. There's no creativity, which I think is a critique of the calling of Spirit, at least historically. Today, when it was the lower pressure match, this is what I was talking about. There was more creativity. There was more freedom.
There was that one round where Boris like yeeted it on Mirage from
that was
A
the last
to B.
round, of the regulation.
Yeah. There was that one round where I don't. Were you? No, that was
Hugo. Yeah.
Where they were like, "What the fuck is this? This is not like a Spirit round, right? They don't really do this." So that was one where I was like, "Oh, this is refreshing." That was nice.
I also saw a couple of others, to be honest, where I actually thought that they did have some new strats. Maybe they already had it before. I just didn't notice. It's possible. But there was like one on Dust 2 where they had like a couple of smokes lined up in front of mid doors, like heading towards B, and they kind of played like a slight fake where Tanier was running through the smoke. They were flashing him in. He was trying to get like an opening in like a mid to B sort of thing, and instead they went short. Like as he was doing that, they just went up short, and like they caught them off guard.
Yeah.
Like that was like a very kind of crazy round that you would never really see from Spirit before. Like something very creative. Similar thing on Mirage where they pulled the fake again. Tanier is like goes B alone, but I think with Magic supporting him, like they fake him out of B. He's just the only one running out super fast. But donk like walks out of the smoke in AAPS, right, to catch off. I think it was Yuri behind triple. And then he got like a couple of kills out of that. So, there were some strats that I felt like, okay, this is not just donk go kill. This is like setting it up so that you have the timing for him,
or
you have
more misdirection.
There was also the G2 round against G2 on Dust 2 where they just like timed up Cat, like they just kind of walked up Cat, crouched under a fucking op and mid, got Cat like super fast, and just got the round like that. It was just like it's kind of a gambly round from
these are the exploiting tendency type things.
But there were also a lot of rounds like that, like what you were talking about, right? Either it was like slow defaults, but it was also some of these just kind of strats where you set up donk where he's supposed to go so far ahead of the team because just he's supposed to catch the timing like as fast as possible as the flashes are popping, or even just before, so he can get the first kill and then capitalize off of that, right? But then he gets killed and it just falls apart completely because like that was the entire strat, and that's the only thing. But
that's kind of the problem that I wanted to lead into is like, I feel like Tanier is not doing anything on this team.
Well, okay,
he's like completely. I'm not saying he's bad.
Yeah,
I've just like I watch Spirit and I don't see this guy. Like, where is he
today? So today when he was playing, right, and this is what I think it is, because Tanier when he was in Heroic, it's like who the fuck are Heroic? Right? Like you know what I mean? And he's getting to play with freedom because nobody rates them. And the only reason they started to respect him was because of Tanier, right? Tanier and his performances, and then the rest of the team being able to combine behind that. Then he goes over to join Spirit, and it was late. So you think about, he only had 3 to 4 tournaments with them on the tail end of last year. Now he's been changed roles again. He was in Zontic's positions. Now they put him in Chopper's spots on all these maps, on certain sides, and then he's the active lurk on the T side. And now Boris is calling the mid rounds. Like they're clear on, that it's the architecture of the game is Halley, ... We know that, right? They say that to the cows come home. But for Tanier's sake, how many arena games did he have before he was in Spirit?
Well, there's two in Mongolia.
Yes, but, right, not many, right? I don't know the figure.
I'm not
Probably
very few.
none.
I think they made playoffs once somewhere.
I mean,
they made
Heroic
like a
made it in
quarterfinal or something.
Shanghai, right? But that was not the same.
Let me
That was
see
the
actually,
Kickstarter
but I'm
He
pretty
wasn't
sure
on the
they
team
made
at
it.
that point.
Shanghai. Yeah, but not his. Not
Yeah.
his. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't think they played any playoffs.
So like
big ones.
I'm giving a lot of leash to this team. I think people just expect them to be good straight away because of Donk.
Yeah.
And I think also you got to go, okay, so not only as Magic's now an in-game leader, he was out of the server for 6 months. Sure, he was playing a lot of FACEIT games, not the same. Zontic's out of the server for 4 months.
Yeah.
This is a decent amount of time off, right?
Sure.
And Zontic's had some good moments today in the third, fourth game. I think Tania had some great moments today in the third, fourth game. I think they'll just get more comfortable with time. I think it's a shame they're not in Cluj because it would be great to see them try and like sharpen their, like hone their stuff quicker. Now they have to have a break. Then they have to play online CS. And you know they want to be competing, right? You know Donk wants to be in the server just trying to fucking smash. I think, you know, I see like there's some, you know,
Nothing.
there's some people out there who get upset and they're like, oh, people are really critical that they're skipping events. Because there was the dialogue Yakinda, you linked it the other day saying,
I didn't
schedule,
read
right?
it. I just saw the headline. So
yeah. But, you know, that is a common conversation that pops up. I don't think there's any issue with teams being tactful in skipping events if they've been mindful of the VRS. I don't think there's any issues at all.
Yeah.
Right? Spirit aren't going to have any problems qualifying for the major.
But then again, don't, like, especially if you have Magic's coming in as a new IGL, don't you want them to get as many reps with him as possible?
Well, so yeah, for now, yes. But like, if they skipped in the future, I don't like.
I don't think I think skipping Cluj, regardless of who was going to go there, I think was a mistake.
Okay.
Because especially because EPL's online, so like there's not even a guarantee you're going to go to the LAN part, and if you do go, it's a 3-day thing or whatever it is. You know, at the end, it's not really a big commitment for you to say yes to EPL because most of it you're going to play from home. You're going to have plenty of time to practice during that time, or even take a little bit more lightly because it's the online tournament that doesn't matter that much.
But then maybe they should have skipped Bounty, done Krakow. Done
into Cluj, into
because
EPL, sure.
At least with Krakow, you were guaranteed minimum 2 best-of-3s.
But then I think you miss out.
3.
I get it, but then you miss out on like kind of the warm-up, right? And a little bit like to get the rustiness out. So I kind of get why.
But it's higher value for them.
Sure.
And if we're thinking that they're going this way as opposed to this way, right? Like then the warm-up for them is less important.
The only listeners, he was pointing up and down.
Yes, yeah, trending.
I still think Bounty is kind of like a no-brainer to say yes to, unless.
But MOUZ and G2 didn't go, and they both made playoffs.
I was gonna say like unless you're kind of mindful of your VRS as like a worse team that isn't really expecting to get anything out of it, you know, because exactly. Like I think for G2 it was the right call because, or for like a sub top 10 team, I think who's not expecting to make it to the semi or whatever, I think like it's so hard, or like just around the top 10 actually, because those are the ones who can lose the most because they're gonna just fall out of the circuit or whatever it is. Anybody below that doesn't really have anything to lose, so you might as well just go there, right? But anybody above that doesn't really have anything to gain either, because like, okay, so if they go far, they're just going to stay where they are. It's not going to give you that much of a value, but it's more about the warm-up thing out of it, where you get a couple of officials, not just practice, you know, you get actual officials. Worst case, you'll go out of the online part of it and you still get at least a little bit of reps. You don't actually get, like, there's no investment out of it. Like, you just played a couple of online games officials, you know, like, who cares? But only if you go to the Malta and then just lose the first game, maybe you lose a couple of days or whatever, you know? So, like, from an investment, time investment or effort investment side of it, I think, like, attending Bounty is just like the zero, the most obvious thing to do.
You had a good tweet.
Which was?
That is going to be in a few days, 6 months since Donk lifted the trophy.
Yes.
That's a
not even lifted a trophy since the last played the grand final, right? I mean, obviously they lifted a trophy at the same time, but
but that's
it hasn't even played a final since then.
That's pretty rough when you think about it.
We're in Vitality's world.
No, but even since they played the final, 6 months almost.
Yeah, okay, but if we look at it, right? They win Shanghai. People think they should have made roster changes. They didn't. The first 6 months.
I think they went well still.
Yeah, they did. But then it was like, oh shit, we're not getting what we want. Vitality just had the best season ever. We need to make changes for more firepower. They get rid of Magix. They bring in ZywOo, who shows promise and is great over in Paravision. I still think it's a very good player, but a lot of pressure for a young kid, proper team. Doesn't go there. But then they still win.
And all that.
They won 2 events. They won Bounty and then they won Cologne. So they still won events. Then this whole Zontic situation, which I still don't know what the fuck happened, but he goes for Tania. And then Tania plays they don't have many events when Tania joins. It's a bit of a gap, and then Tania plays like EPL, a couple of other ones, and then they change roster again.
Yep.
So they've been unstable since.
But they do have
the
donk.
tournament break. Yes,
they have donk.
But and the team is built around donk, right?
Yep.
What
I mean,
are you saying?
what you're saying makes sense, but I understand you're thinking from like a team point of view. Oh, they should have been doing better. My point of view is simply donk is not reaching grand finals.
Yeah,
And
but he will, and he's only 18, mate.
Of course, it's not like he doesn't have time
but
to do it again. But it's
like
more
when
about
Simple was a Navi and they weren't doing that well. Like it's the same thing.
But he was playing with Edward and Zeus.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the same. I'm not saying it's the same.
I
But it's
mean,
like,
people
this
could
is
say
the,
fucking.
this is the guy.
Magic's and at the time before Chopper or whatever, you know.
This is the guy that you want to see in grand finals. This is the guy that wants to be.
This is the guy that consistently gets let down by not getting into the grand finals.
Yes, he should be in grand finals.
Well, yeah, we can't. I was going to say it could be in a week, but no, he can't be.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just it's a rough one to think about.
But we say that about Falcons.
Well, Monesi's played more grand finals than that, and since that time.
Yeah, and like Furia has been in finals.
And he's a worse player. Like by
Falcons have been in finals. Mongols have been in finals. I think.
Not sure about since then.
And maybe not.
EWC.
Mongols, no,
EWC.
EWC was kind
they
of
won.
It was after the Arena.
Yeah. But like you know,
like since then they've already played a final.
So maybe even G2, you know.
London was after that as well, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, from that framing, I suppose. Yeah.
Like it's because they like for a while they didn't even make semis, right? For after the second change after the.
So what you're saying is donk to Falcons.
Yeah, that would be funny.
It would make them better.
Yeah. And then get bit from now.
You wanna pivot to Falcons? No, Falcons.
No, we got G2 Aurora to do. We can do those quite quickly.
Yeah.
Aurora, I think just again, I want to say they had a very good group stage. I think we spoke about it in the last show. They exceeded expectations by making the playoffs. Same old problem, but we give them some rope again because Soulfly first event.
Soulfly did struggle in these games.
They target him on the B side in the early stages of that game.
Yeah.
Too. So, but the question now is, will it be the same old Aurora in the stage games that we experienced in the last year where they just can't get it together? Because every time you see a Magic...
I mean, nothing suggests that they will break through that. Like, nothing suggests that Soulfly will suddenly be the key
but it's
to
also
them
like, where do you put the bar for them? I still think that if they are making playoffs and losing playoffs every time, I think that's great.
Yes, for a national team.
I think that's great.
Turkey.
Their best player is Antares.
He's 30.
He is... I don't know what does that have to do with anything.
Well, he's a very good old player.
He's a very good player,
and he is very old.
He is old.
He's not very old. I'm older.
I don't know why I'm getting defensive about it. You're older than me anyway. So no, but I'm just saying he is the only player you can be like, oh, this is a. But even he's not doing anything crazy in these games. It's not like he is being let down.
He's not taking over.
No, it's just like the whole team is just on that level. And I think that's fine.
I think it's acceptable.
I think that's fine. I think I don't know what they're getting paid, but I don't think it's like that much. I think
more than they were getting in Eternal Fire.
For sure. For sure. More than they're getting in the Space Soldiers.
Yeah.
That's also
that's
true
100%
for
sure.
Yeah. Probably in terms of like
Actually, we should have said they're getting paid in Aurora.
Yeah.
Right? That should have been where we started.
I mean, just in terms of like, I think consistently this core of they've been like overperforming for what they get paid and for like the talent that they have. I think it's okay. Like I think they have, unfortunately, a lot of very similar players. Like all of these, like Jota Wikadia, Soulfly, Antares, they are all kind of want to do the same thing. So I think that's pretty limiting in terms of what they can do. Wox is a solid opper. He's not like blowing anyone's mind. Like he is sometimes, but not on a consistent basis that you can put him in this like Molodor Monacy.
He's not on the elite level conversation.
Molodor Monacy.
No, but he's still above.
So the second one, just so everyone's aware, the second one I wrote, and then I was like, no, my framing should be what do people reckon? Because that was meant to be. And then because the internet in the arena
is so bad, the
other one sent like fucking 2 hours after I had already sent the first one. And then I was like, I saw people replying. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, oh, let me delete that.
It felt like a bit, honestly.
It was pretty good bit though, right?
That's kind of my just the whole Aurora situation. It kind of is what it is. If they make a breakthrough, great. If they don't, what are you gonna do? Blow up the team for what?
There's no point. May as well keep going.
Because you're not better than Vitality.
Yeah, that's fine. we're okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
not
don't know.
better than Spirit. Yeah, that's fine. Not
Yeah.
better than Furia. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's
Yeah.
all good. Yeah, that's not a problem for me. G2. What can you say about that game?
Sampaios was horrible. You can say that.
Yeah, I made a joke on the pre-show the next day with JL and Yanko. I said something like Hunter had more flash assists than Sampaios had hit AWP shots or something. You know? Yeah, like, bro, it just is so tough to watch. It's
It was
like,
just. It was not even that like. It's not even like he's making horrible. Well, he was making bad positional mistakes too on overpass, from what I remember. Like he was just like trying to combat up, like as he's fallen in 2016, without having hands, and it's like, he positionally as well, but just so many whiffs, man. Like
yeah, the amount
whiffs.
of shots that if he hit in terms of openers or
Yeah.
like trades that could
Like he had opportunities that he just missed.
Yes.
That he just missed. So he put himself in situations where he could have, and he just missed them.
And the thing is, we were talking, and well, the community was talking about MOUZ. Obviously, Sampaios has been in the conversation for a while in terms of not performing the way that he should. But MOUZ is the one that's like, oh, this is this aggressive rifle, and he's just not the guy. At this event, especially since they played that Spirit seeding game, and then he was even good against MOUZ, I thought. Very good, like owning Jimmy and connected with all those flashes and stuff. That Deagle round, he had some really nice.
That was one of the
moments.
few games where, like, I thought, like, okay, this is the mobs that like we were so excited about in that G2 that was actually good.
Yep.
But we haven't really seen that for a long time. So I was positively surprised with him.
Yeah, and during the group stage, like Hunter had some really good moments, but then it got too tough for him in the playoffs. Probably having to worry too much about the macro and the head-to-head there.
I think Mattis is still good. Like he still has those moments where he just like has like really crazy moves.
He's my favorite player in the team.
He's really fun to watch for sure. Yeah. So I think like
Heavy God's good too.
They have decent pieces. They just somehow like, well, yeah, they just don't have. They rarely
don't click.
Put it together at the same time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like this time, Sampaios has a decent game. They can beat MOUZ. They can 100% beat MOUZ. It was pretty competitive.
I think everyone was praying that they beat MOUZ.
Well,
like,
not MOUZ fans.
Yeah, it was so funny today.
All five of them?
Trace is doing the third place decider interview before the game, and obviously they want to do it with coaches, so can't do it with Hallie, right? We don't have a translator, so he just does it with Cyclone. And then Trace's last question is there anything you want to say to the fans? And Cyclone, before he starts talking, chuckles because it felt like a bit, bro. It was like Cyclone has a good sense of humor. He's a solid guy. And when Trace said that, he just laughed. He goes, "Yeah, thank you." Such a professional answer. It's like, "Yeah, thank you everyone for supporting us." Da 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 da. You know, and I was like, "Well, great. You've got to do it that way. What else can you say?" But nobody likes MOUZ.
Stop saying this. You're also perpetuating this
No,
myth that no one likes
it's not.
them. You're making it worse. I have a guy downstairs. He's a friend.
He likes MOUZ.
Yeah, I mean he's a friend of some of the players.
Okay,
so.
not nobody likes MOUZ. Nobody in Krakow liked MOUZ. It was very limited people who would they were getting booed. Why they look?
I think it's just a bit. It's just a bit now. No one really hates them. No one hates them enough to boo them. It's just like, well, no one likes these guys.
You can't hate them enough to boo. Yeah.
But I feel it went from people just were like mild on them to now people don't like them.
I think it's like, look, you can see it in yourself, like in your kind of view of MOUZ at this point, where you thought that the year ago as well, where there's nothing hateable about them. They're a fine team.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
But we've seen that for a year straight now, where they have not moved an inch.
They're a good team. They're a consistent team.
Yeah.
They've got some good pieces.
But you don't like them.
What is your contempt line?
They've got certain amount of resentment before it turns into contempt.
Yeah, but now it became contempt.
Yeah, but it's not for us. I mean, for them inside the server, that's the line.
Yeah, but it is also for the fans. The fans are like, "Fuck this team."
Well, yeah,
we're gonna we're wasting my. We get 5 games in the arena, and one of them is gonna be a shit MOUZ game, and one of them was a decent MOUZ game, the G2 one. And I just think I don't know. I'm kind of tired. I'm tired as well. I'm tired.
You just said I was perpetuating it. I'm just saying what the people are saying. There's literally Reddit threads.
Okay, you're the people's man.
I'm the barometer. People in Kick chat right now. Do you like MOUZ, dislike MOUZ, or do you hate MOUZ?
There's a poll,
or you're indifferent.
Are you indifferent towards MOUZ? I don't know. I'll see. Maybe Lucas will. I think he likes MOUZ.
I think it started out as indifference in most people's minds, and then it turned into contempt because I think
the thing is, like, you're not going to cheer for them. Might as well boo them because that's kind of the energy.
So what do we got here? I want to like them. Ooh, dislike, hate MOUZ, dislike, never deliver. I hate fun. I hate for fun. I hate for fun.
I hate
Excuse
fun.
me.
I hate fun.
I hate for fun.
MOUZ fan.
I like MOUZ. I even have
Look,
a signed jersey.
Like that's
There
the
you
thing. Like I don't dislike them whatsoever. I am kind of indifferent to them just because we've seen the same thing over and over and over, and like it doesn't move anywhere. Like it doesn't excite me in any way. That's okay. I would almost like it is a stupid thing to say, and it's a really dumb thing to say, and they wouldn't want this. But I would almost rather them be shit so that something moves, like something changes about them, you know, because they're always in the playoffs, but they're never exciting in the playoffs. The last time they were exciting in the playoffs was Cologne for one game. And then it all fizzled out because they disappeared in the final. You know?
In Chengdu, it was 3 maps against Vitality in the playoffs in the semi.
I don't remember the game.
Yeah, well, that's you guys
too many
probably
games.
asleep.
Too many games.
It's just rough because like Torji is decent, but in these games he's generally not good.
Yeah. I mean, none of them. To be honest, like
exertion struggles. He has like so much on him to make moves, to make space. It doesn't work in these games. Just doesn't. Then it is literally this situation where it's like a Jimmy Brolin are playing decent, which is like when these guys are at the best on the team, then it fucking sucks.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
Spinks, I think, is super skilled. I think he is either he also gets scared and then just plays super baity. Because I think the difference between him in the G2 game and in the Vitality game was huge.
Yeah.
He is in the same positions and making completely different moves.
Yes.
Like he's literally, I don't think on purpose, but is literally baiting his team to play safe when that is not a winning way to play the round. And that is just, then what is the point of this team? If this team will never win. This constellation will never win until either you change people's approach, which I think is very difficult.
Do you mean their demeanor, or do you mean the way they play the game?
I mean how they show up in the game, and how you get to that. I don't know how you do that.
See, because people think I'm joking when I've got on these fucking lengthy little spiels about them doing something radical. I'm
because they're kind of giving a bit of that in this tournament. But there's a bit of the
go further.
Yeah.
Right. Like, actually, if they really want to change as a team, right? Because I remember I was speaking to Cyclone and Chengdu about this stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, it's about shaping the people, right? That's how you get there. It's because in the game, what they're able to deliver, they've consistently made the playoffs of every tournament they've attended with this roster.
Yep.
That's a fact, right? And normally up until this point, they would glide through group stage and be in the seeding match. This time they weren't. I thought that'd be a difference maker. It turned out not to be. But
that's why I was fucking saying you guys are trolling for saying they exceeded expectations after losing a game in groups.
Well, but that's
it wasn't result based. I think exceeded.
It was
vibe based.
Yeah.
Okay. Vibe based.
But they need to do something different as a group. They need to speak differently in the interviews.
I also think this, yes.
I don't want to hear them going, like
people don't like it, but it's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's not fine.
No.
You all fucking suck,
Yeah.
and fuck you. And then puts that additional pressure on you, which is kind of stupid, but it's like either make it or break it.
Yeah, and that's why
that's it.
But that's why we think a roster change, because what a roster change does is it gives you fresh motivation.
Yeah.
That's the line with the turning into contempt is they know every time they lose this, they're searching for answers. And if they can really keep a brave face and they believe, no, this is the right 5 and we can eventually break through, all the power to them. But then change your actual attitude. And this seems crazy. It feels like WWE type shit. Like it doesn't feel real, right? But it is real because the way that they're looked at, they're just a bunch of young guys. None of them have any crazy personality. The thing Jimmy's known for is goon and did porn on Twitter, right? Like it's a little bit funny, but you
can only take it so far,
right?
Yeah.
But this is the thing. Like start becoming the bad guys. What's going to happen is the community are going to hate you. Well, apparently a lot of people don't like you now anyway, right? This is why Katie and people have problems with Katie and the way that he would approach things, but he used that to do this us versus them, and them being the world, them not just being the opponents, them being everybody. Like this is.
But isn't that literally what all Brazilian teams have done forever? Like that is always kind of the vibe, even if they're not like that right now, because like they've been around. The community still thinks like that. That is kind of their approach always. If you look at even just after the first map, Twitter is like a bunch of people like fucking Kogu, Peacemaker, whatever. They all go out and it's like, haha, you thought that posting odds before the game and how it changed. Like they're all in this mentality, like everyone's against us. And everyone is pretty much against MOUZ right now. Kind of what you said. Like, what is the point of being PR to be liked when people actually don't even like you?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the point that you're trying to be like, oh, I don't want my interview to be taken out of context. Let's make sure we say the right things. It's like, yeah, fucking, do whatever. It doesn't really matter.
I'd also be like, yeah, we can't beat Vitality, but we beat all your other fucking teams. They fucking suck.
Yeah.
It's like, look at G2, they're shit. Or we beat Falcons. Look at these fucking noobs. Like, get some attitude about it. And who cares if you hated? The one thing they should care about is winning trophies. And they need to change something drastically if they want to change trophies, if they want to win trophies. Either it has to be a roster change or it has to literally be an attitude change. And this is a short period of time. A Counter-Strike player's career is a short period of time unless your name's going to be fucking Donk or ZywOo or one of the legends, right? Who's going to play for a long time, or a player that's a star player turns into an in-game leader. Fucking sees you're a consistent team. You've got the work ethic. You've got the right attitude as a group in terms of the way that you deal with each other and do all those things. They're very professional.
But yeah, they're very. But that doesn't mean that they're doing it in the right way, because they obviously have some issues that they can't get over. So maybe they're not actually dealing with. Maybe they do need like a. I don't know what's happening inside, right? But is there maybe a blow up needed? Not like blow up as in kick someone out, but like really get at each other's throat and be like, what the fuck are you doing here? You're doing this, you need to do this. No, okay, I'm doing this. Just fucking fix things. Because this was kind of what happened with MOUZ before the Rio Major, I think, at some point when Dexter was still
on the team.
Yeah, when I think it was a Dallas.
Oh, we heard like a listening or whatever. Or no, they were talking about the way they changed
after.
things.
Yeah. They changed things after. Like they were like, well, we're playing.
Yeah, there was like a big.
But that's kind of the problem.
Yeah.
Because they went out in last place then, and this team just can't go out in last place.
They need to bomb out. Yeah,
they make playoffs every time, so it's always like, it's kind of good, but it's kind of not good.
Yeah, I look, when you think of great Counter-Strike teams, you can always think of a leader of men within the team. Apex, Glaive, Fallen, right? Like these are all people who are able to garner respect and lead a group. Like you look at the way that Apex gets fired up or rinses his teammates out. Remember how fired up Glaive would get when Astralis were fucking owning? Like you'd follow that guy into battle.
Or losing.
Right? Yeah, but you'd have people like this. And there's a lot of teams you can think of that have these. There's some that don't. Obviously, it's not all teams. But with at least a lot of these great leaders, Carrigan, that's a guy that people would follow into battle, right? These type of players, I'm not saying this isn't Brolin's fault at all. Brolin was the only one putting up any impact yesterday when they were playing their fucking semifinal game. It's just a thing where they don't have that, so they need something else, right? They need something else to be able to get them there, because like these are good players. These aren't bots. There's no one on this team I go, man, this guy, what's he doing on the team, right? These are good. It's so frustrating, and I think the fact that we've had this conversation. Okay. You did what are the odds about fucking Vitality or whoever winning? What are the odds that MOUZ don't capitulate off the back of this? What are the odds they keep it together? Because think about it, guys. Put yourself in that mental headspace for a second. You've been getting fucked, like when it comes to these important games. You can get to the point, but no further. You're the reigning Cluj champion. No one else who was good was at the event last year. Does that help you at all?
No.
Are they gonna do better than they did here? Like, does it matter if they do better?
I mean, it does matter, but that doesn't mean they will.
But how does it matter, right? Like this team feels like it's stuck. They're treading water.
Yeah.
So a change has to happen. So is it better that MOUZ lose and bomb out and then really?
It is. Yes.
Yeah, that's better.
100%.
Better MOUZ lose.
Yeah, for sure. Because they do need that shock, like that realization. Okay, like we do need to do something drastic, otherwise, because like whatever they've been doing, these like 1% here, 2% here, this is what we were trying to do, like slight different approach. We want to get used to the arena problem or whatever it is. It's not an arena problem because you have games where you are showing up in arenas.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not studio merchant.
It is no, it's not a studio merchant problem. It's not even just a Vitality game. It's a big game problem in a higher sense. Yes, I think that's a better way to put it.
Obviously,
because
Vitality
it's the big games against the best team, like absolute elite games, basically, like against the absolute best teams, where you're going to the finals, the semifinals against the Vitality Spirits.
At the same time, you can be like, oh, but they only lost to Vitality. But it's how they lost.
The one that sticks out is the Spirit loss in Cologne. That's the one. That was their turning point. Big one. That was their turning point. You finally, on the 8th time of asking, you beat Vitality. You go up against Spirit in the grand final.
And then, again, it's not about losing to Spirit. It's about how they lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
They got smashed.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was that point where like they probably thought, we got, like, it just reminded me of the fucking DreamHack winner 2013, NIP beat very games, and they think they've won the tournament, and they got fucked by Fnatic in the final. You know, that's like whenever something like this happens, that's like what reminds me of it, because
unfortunately
they were so fucking happy.
All of the MOUZ players were 7 years old at that time, so they don't remember
they
that.
They get learned from that. Because I remember that NIP were just as happy, like so fucking happy. Very games had been their problem for so long, where they fucking, like, not even so long, it was just like a couple of months where suddenly they started losing to people, like to one team that they've been beating so consistently. And it was kind of the same thing here, right? Like MOUZ have been losing to Vitality for so long, then they finally beat them in the Cologne semi, think like, okay, we've done 90% of the job, and they get fucked in the final.
The
right?
final before the final.
Yeah,
not the final, I'll tell you that much.
No, it was not.
The final is usually the final.
Yeah,
that's kind of
how it works.
Usually that's when you get the trophy.
We've covered the playoff teams. Next one you've got on the list here, Prof, for the Runner Show today. General impressions of IEM Krakow.
Yeah. What? One more time?
General impressions of IEM Krakow.
General. Okay, I was just like spaced out more.
Yeah. Happened to me a few times.
What are your general impressions?
I will say, so
you were in the arena today, right?
Yes, I was in the arena for the first time today, so I didn't really see how yesterday's game was.
Well, I think today is probably the best
experience.
Yes, right. Yes. So yeah.
It was great in terms of atmosphere, like for the grand final for sure. Third place decided. I'll just leave it to the side, because first of all, who cares?
What expectation do you have?
I didn't have high expectations either. Throughout the playoffs overall, I know it's partly because of the teams that made it, partly because of the games that were played in the playoffs.
Oh, tell me about it, mate.
We only had 2 good games the entire playoffs.
I couldn't be in a worse mood this weekend.
Yeah.
Casting those games is like,
was rough.
You know, I love Counter-Strike, but when I go into a playoff match and it's an arena game, that's where the best Counter-Strike is meant to be played. Mm-hmm. And the Counter-Strike I had the pleasure of casting was not fun. It was great to watch Vitality stomp the life out of MOUZ. Like, that felt good, because it was like, why are you doing this again? Like, please just change the narrative. I don't want to bash on MOUZ anymore. But it was hard, because it wasn't even... This is why FaZe and Falcons are fun, is they'll play trade Counter-Strike where it gets into the mud and you have a crazy 3v3. Like a lot of the rounds we saw tonight.
And it's not even just trade, like a lot of individual plays, right? And things like that, like very dynamic, where they were just going to keep running around the map all the time. You know, that's...
But the highlights in the G2 game, I could probably count on one hand. And then also, whenever MOUZ did anything, you try and give it the sauce to be like, Spinks with a massive 4K. And the crowd, it just goes mild, because they're not supporting them. So Alex and I have had this a lot. We've had to do outsiders games in Katowice. That is equally as bad, if not worse.
Yeah. That's worse.
Definitely worse.
Everyone hated them.
Yeah.
And not even just about that, it's about the type of the game they play. You know,
yeah,
so like
it's
even impossible.
They're Russians in Poland, which is the not favorites in any way.
Anyway.
And then also general fans hate how they're playing. Plus they were bad.
And for 90% of the game, nothing's happening. So that's also a problem.
You're casting against the crowd. Right?
Yeah.
Like, because I don't have a favorite. I want good Counter-Strike. That's what gets me excited. Talking about good macro, good decisions, like good this, that, and the other. But when a massive moment happens, regardless, in my opinion, if it's a big moment, it's getting the sauce, right? It's getting the fucking mustard on the hot dog. But when you do that and the crowd doesn't back it up, it's like, shit.
But the crowd is kind of weird from that perspective. I feel like, you know, when we went to China, they just cheer for whatever good happens.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like also Cologne would also be like that, even if it's not, you know, MOUZ would get there. Obviously Germany, so maybe a bit more fan base over there. But it felt very uninspired, even though they have beer inside now.
Yeah.
Last time we were here,
but the final was good.
Inside. The final was good.
Final had a good vibe. The thing is, like,
the two games was good.
I was going to say the 2 games that were good had good atmosphere, and that tells you something, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it was a lot to do with either the team that was there or the type of game that was being played. Just nothing other than those 2 games was particularly exciting.
No,
at any point.
Aurora
really.
was a non-starter. G2 was a non-starter.
Not a fault of the crowd necessarily too much. I think it's just because sometimes you just don't get lucky with the type of game.
I don't know what people expected at home, but I think it was overall upgrade from Katowice in many ways, but not as big as I expected.
It was twice the size.
Yeah,
in terms of arena and attendance.
Yeah.
But that's it. But that was the only improvement we saw.
I don't think like kind of the show looked any better. I didn't really feel like it. Just felt like a bit I know you're saying double, but I don't believe it's double.
It is.
It is close to double, yeah.
So it was like they said like 11 to 12,000.
Yeah, but
here.
Katowice wasn't far off of like 6K or something. Like it's close to double.
Yeah, well, that was, I guess, surprisingly small.
Yeah, people didn't realize because Spodek's quite sheer, right? It goes up quite quickly.
Yeah.
I think what lacked here is like, especially watching from home, the shots never really
Capture the audience.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what the problem. Maybe it's because the top of the arena is a bit weird in how it's positioned.
Yes.
So I don't think you could get a good angle to get like the super wide shot that you usually get.
I did see a photo. Maybe you guys put it up, or maybe it was on the ES channel.
We have
where
a
it was
few
the
good
wide
ones.
lens, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Where we were casting from, we were not in a good spot to be casting from, and that's also hurt us being able to feel the audience. We were in one of the booths behind the glass door, so not only could we not even really see the crowd, I couldn't from my position at all. Alex may have been able to see a little gap, maybe that big, right? But also the sound was dampened, and sure, they pump crowd noise into your headset, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
right?
You don't feel it on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no bass. That we didn't feel the audio. We didn't feel like I could have been casting from this hotel room, right? And it would have been a similar feeling if they provided me the same stuff. So from our perspective, there it was kind of weird with the tone. But I know what you mean in terms of quality of show. I'm just curious. When you compare like a Katowice to a Cologne, do you see a distinct increase in show quality?
I think it just, a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I don't think that they go to any different effort.
I think it just feels grander, right? Because of the arena. I think that translates the walk-ins and everything. I think it just feels bigger. Because it is bigger.
There's one thing that they do differently, and I would hope that they will kind of learn from that for the future years. Because I will give a little bit of context here on why ESL might have done it this way. Oh, okay. I'll start over from the beginning.
Yeah.
So the stage for somebody who's been in Katowice literally every single fucking year until now, and seeing it go over to Krakow, it was very clear, even from the way that they were setting up a lot of the narratives around the show and all that stuff, that they were trying to make it clear that this is the same tournament, just in a different city.
Yeah,
it is the same tournament. So
Katowice
or Krakow, it is for the same trophy, the same stage, exactly the same stage. Even though we'd been talking about this for a long time, that you were kind of mentioning that it's impossible to make it different because of the way that Krakow, the Katowice,
because you
can't load anything off of the ceiling and all that stuff. They literally copied the entire stage setup. It doesn't exist anywhere else. This is the only time they use this stage, which is for Katowice.
Yes,
they use the same one in the Tauron arena.
Yes,
exactly the same setup. Even I would think less lights, less of a like supporting stuff around it. I could be wrong.
Or
it
just feels like that because the arena
maybe
is bigger.
Maybe it just feels like that because it just takes up a lot more space, even though it's kind of somewhat of a compact stage. So there was very clear like direction from ESL where they were trying to make it clear that this is the same tournament. We want to carry over the same vibe. We want to keep the legacy going of the same tournament. We're just in a bigger space now. So that was the first tournament out of it. And like from talking to some of the guys, like when I was on the floor to like Nixon and Michael, it was clear that in the future that was, first of all, that was on purpose, and in the future that they will explore doing something else right with it. But that was kind of what was disappointing to me about it, because
that it was the same,
that it was exactly the same. Because even like if you look at Cologne versus Krakow, which was what I was going to get into, Cologne has this massive walkway, right? The catwalk or whatever you call it, where they do the intro, very special intro, where it's like the fly through between the players, where there's like spotlights on them and stuff. That's nobody else does that. That's by far the best intro I think it is right now in Counter-Strike, the Cologne intro, because it's just so cool with like how the steady cam goes through the players. Like I still remember like Blade doing like the little wing thing, some of these things. Like it's so special in the entire circuit. Nobody does it the same way. Blast does their like the raising thing, like, but we've also seen that so many times now that it's kind of all the same. Exactly. Like Blast has its own feeling, but it's kind of like to the side. But Cologne, the intro, that part of the show is way better. And like Krakow kind of felt like any other IEM where they just come out from behind the stage, where they're not walking through the crowd. There's nothing.
I thought the doors opening were cool.
The doors opening is a special element
cool
compared to the other IEMs. They don't really do that anywhere else because they just come out from literally behind the stage. So that part and the stairs of it, like that's
But I guess the issue is like the stairs are such a big part of the iconography.
Yes.
But they don't really use it on the show. realistically.
Just with, like,
in the
interviews
visuals,
there
they use
or
it in the
whatever.
visuals
Yes,
and stuff like
yeah,
that. But it's not made sexy, in any way, like as a part of the intro. So I think I kind of vibe with what he's saying, and I think one additional kind of last thing, maybe people don't really care about this, so not to
this is
too
inside
much.
baseball style stuff.
Yeah, but I think the content was insane. Like usually ESL content is the best, but I feel like they outdid themselves at this event, and the quality of the footage of the content, like the color grading, the quality of the cameras is so high that when you go from that to an arena cam, the arena cam looks like shit. And I'm not sure if the arena cam is actually shit or is it just average, and the stuff that they play before is just so polished that the drop off is so big. And some of the lighting was also kind of weird. People felt like kind of yellow and stuff, and I was like, is the white balance off? I don't know.
Do you mean the recorded stuff on the show, like the desks?
I mean when you go from the essentially the pre-recorded stuff, the nice like intros for even the content, the skits, whatever, and then you go to a camera, like a wide shot of the arena and just like people setting up and stuff like that. It just the mic. It just didn't feel. It felt such a huge drop off in visuals.
Interesting.
That for me was like, now the main camera looks poor. Yeah. And I'm not really sure if it even is, or if it's just like the other thing looks so good. Probably both.
Interesting. Well, I guess with the videos, like if we're talking about the skits and all those type of, like, with the hype videos and everything they're producing right there, like Frank and the crew, like, they're the best in the business of what they do, right?
It was an unreasonable amount of stuff. You can't even, like, a bunch of people didn't even probably notice half of it that came out.
I think they had different intros for every game, essentially, in the playoffs was nuts. Like the one they did yesterday before the second semi with the Dupree one, I thought that was fucking awesome.
That was great.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah,
like, talking about the
nice.
Australia stuff. I think like Freya was heavily involved in the concept for that
also
one.
Like every team walk out, different music, different vibes, stuff like that. It was, there's so much attention to detail there. So I don't know. I think it was overall good tournament. As I said, there's something was missing, and I can't really put my finger to what it is overall. But I think in the end, what is most important is like big plays, big.
The games make tournaments, right?
So in the end, I think ZywOo doing what he did in the grand final will make this tournament like remembered in a really good light. If this was like a complete stomp with nothing really happening, I think it would be much worse.
Well, that's considering how bad the other playoff games
are. Because there's Spirit, almost nothing to latch on.
Well, that's the one thing. Look, Counter-Strike, unless we want to start rigging it, we can't control the outcome, and we can't control how we get to the outcome, right? So that's the problem, and that's why I think, like, people,
you're saying it's not scripted?
No, not yet. Anyway, we are going to change things for the future, but I think it's interesting. Like you talking to Carmack a lot, right? Essentially, this being his baby, the idea of keeping the legacy alive for the viewer. When I talk to the players, I ask the question, is this the same event for you? And it's like, yes, it is, right? Obviously, for younger players who watch Katowice as their first tournament and see like legends up there, they hear Katowice, they think Spodek, and they think that's what it's about. But really, it's the things that Prof's saying here. It's the magic of the moment in the moment, right? Like if there was the most insane game of Counter-Strike that went down as one of these playoff matches and the internet was ablaze and the crowd was going bonkers and everything was going fucking nuts, people were like, fuck, the Tauron is lit. Like, the game, right, being good, the crowd was there. The pieces are there, but you need the spark, and the game is the spark.
Yeah, but imagine if this was a Fallen win instead, like a FURIA win. Fallen goes on 10 years undefeated, best of fives, finally gets his Katowice trophy. Should have retired already, didn't retire. He's pushing on. He's like disrupting the Vitality era. That would be remembered so much more than this, even though this is still like ZywOo's fucking insane tournament, not Donk's level. It will still be remembered, just like every Katowice is pretty much remembered for something.
Well,
the JKS stand-in, the Fnatic versus FaZe, insane. All of these, everyone has something that they remember. G2 winning.
When a team's getting owned like MOUZ was yesterday against Vitality, you have to. It doesn't mean you have to. You could do nothing. But during the cast, start to do more story, right? And you start to build out more. And so I was talking about the years that have come before, right? So 2025, when Vitality won it, they went on to have the best year of Counter-Strike ever, won both majors. The 2024, that's when Spirit won it. They won a major. That's when Donk became the monster that we know he is, right? 2023, G2 won it, and then they also won Cologne within that year, 2 trophies for Nico that he had been chasing, right? 2022 phase won it, then they won Antwerp. So the angle of this event being like the crucible,
Kingmaker.
the crucible, right? Crucible.
Sounds like the right word.
It's crucible. The fact that like that's where you forge metals or whatever, something like that, right? So this is like teams who have won this event and like obviously we had Astralis in 2019. They go on to have successful years in Counter-Strike, right? That's how this has gone. Obviously, there's exceptions to that rule. We also have the online one, which we won't count. But it is an important tournament in what to look out for within a year of Counter-Strike. And I'm curious to see what they do next year. Because I hope sold out for this one.
Yeah.
Go 360, guys.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I would hope.
360 could be a lot more. I don't know if it was true or whatever, but someone posted a clip of the grand final, the intro for the grand final in Tauron for the PGL Krakow Major 2017. And
it was 360.
Sadek has said 15,000 people during the intro. Is that true or not?
If it's only 4,000 more people, that should be easy to get.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's how much more you could do and if you do 360. So,
it's not something else I'll do generally. They've only done it once, effectively.
Yeah, and it backfired, didn't it?
It didn't. But it was also, I don't think it was the arena to do it because it also the way it was set up.
I mean, that's
and the tickets sold before the pandemic, and then
let's just be real. That was also in general
there
one of the worst
was a lot of caveats to that, so I don't necessarily want to like whatever. Like I'm sure they could do it if they really wanted to make a 360 stage. I'm sure they would do it effectively, right? Like they would come up with a setup that would work. I do think that's like for me, I'm speaking from somebody again who's been here literally who's been to Katowice literally every single year since 2014 to attend the entire thing. So for me, like there's a special feeling standing or like entering Spodek for the first time and hearing the music combined with the feeling, like something about Spodek, like it's just this nostalgic feeling.
Nostalgia,
that's like obviously I can't expect other people to have this to the same degree, right? Because I've been fortunate enough of a position that I live 2 hours away that I could be here every time. So from that perspective, like for me, it's always going to be missing something of that until this like goes on for enough years that I've been here as well, and picks up the same theme for me as like a legacy thing, right? About the arena, like one more thing that I do think that BSL will probably get some feedback about through Reddit from some of the people who are on the ground. I do think the sides were not very well served.
Okay.
The sides of the arena, because the way that it was set up was you had the 2 projector screens on the sides of the stage, and then you had 2 on the sides, maybe even 3. I think it was like 3 like this, but 2 on the sides, but they were high up above the ground, like not even the ground level, but the first rung of the seats on the sides were all the way above. So you had to be angled literally 90 degrees, or like let's say 70 degrees to the right or to the left screen to even be able to watch in a reasonably good way. And it was a very uncomfortable. Like I could tell people that were just like craning like this, and like I can't even have back support or anything like that. I think the screen
360 will solve that.
I feel bad for them. No back support.
But it's like obviously like haha old people.
No,
but it's also,
the joke is I don't have back support.
That's what I mean. But like haha old people, like they can't sit. But it's like fucking
you're there for 6 hours. Like 6-7 hours.
You're there for 7 hours, and like
I did it. Sorry guys.
I keep doing it by accident. People think I'm doing it seriously. I'm not even doing it. It's just
so
numbers.
It's like it was. I could tell that like those people who are on the sides who couldn't get the seats that were like in the good angles just were suffering at that point. Like
I'll just do one last point, and I was telling you earlier when we were walking around the concourse and stuff. I think I'm experienced in Counter-Strike in general, arena creep or arena shrinkflation. We're going to so many big arenas around the world that now this one that's pretty big doesn't feel that special. Like if you think of how big Austin was, for example, or walking around the concourse.
Yeah,
the concourse is just huge.
Yeah. Even Budapest.
You go to Budapest. You go to
Budapest. Nice.
Budapest was. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger arena.
Crazy, right? Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a bigger thing. There's just like standing in front of it. You're like, how big is this fucking thing?
Yeah.
Shanghai was big too. So what are you saying? It didn't feel big. You want it bigger.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
What do I want to say? Just that. I think it's it doesn't feel like, oh my god, this is the biggest shit ever, because it isn't. but it's also like unreasonable for every event to be that big.
It's kind of ridiculous to think because like when we were going for the PGL Major, I entered that arena. I'm like, holy fuck, this is
right,
this is huge. This is big. This is
like
massive.
in my memory, this arena is so much bigger. But that was
Yeah.
also the first major I ever attended in 2017. So for me, it was objectively a big arena.
But even for
and
me,
it's
like
still objectively a big
I'd
arena.
gone to like a bunch of events before, and it felt the same to me. Like it was fucking massive for me at the time. So I get what you mean.
Yeah. Oh, but that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't have known that SPUNJ was only 5,000 to 6,000 people if I wasn't in the position I'm in now. Right? Like, I always thought it was huge. Like because I remember I did desks there back when I was still playing, and I was like, this is fucking massive. But yeah, with this one, I think I want to see what they do next year. I want to see how they adapt the arena and if they try and take advantage and maybe do something different. But yeah, I think as far as the transition goes to a new place,
pretty good. Yeah.
And more. Look, if we can service more people, why wouldn't we? You know, that's the thing. Like you were saying, SPUNJ also was built in like the 50s or something, or maybe 1937 or something like that. I think it's
no, yeah, bro, it's 1920s. Bro.
I think it was
1920s.
No, I honestly, I'll find it.
It is a very old building.
Yeah, I think it's a Soviet building.
SPUNJ.
It's like 67 or something.
You did it again.
Oh my god, I didn't do it on purpose. I'm joking. Like late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, I may have gone a bit early with the 30s.
Was it?
Do we SPUNJ in arena built 1964?
Whoa, so close.
Yeah, there you
Told
go.
ya.
There you go. Okay, let's jump into
still like that's one of the oldest. That's probably the oldest arena we've been to in a long time. Probably.
The thing is, like,
that was again.
I think the Jeunesse
probably
is much younger, but it's worse.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Anyway, I'm sure that's. I would say, like, I do think that as much as like maybe some people will think like it's a different city, it's a different tournament, all that stuff. I do think it's great to carry over the legacy part of the tournament, because I think it's such an iconic thing.
I didn't think that was going to be your take.
You didn't think?
No.
That I was going to hate on the fact that like we're treating this as the same tournament. I am kind of a purist in that sense, so I understand why you thought that way. But I just do think that it's nice. It's nice to have the iconic atmosphere of it stay to some degree, and I think ESL did a really good job like trying to carry that over, as I was explaining a little earlier in the setup that I was talking about the previous point. So I think that's a good thing, because this is a tournament that's has existed for such a long time.
But this is what Counter-Strike has that nothing else has.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Is this
like we have so many like this is
inconsistency.
I know that ESL like kind of
trophy in
and that's what I was gonna say. Like they obviously overplay it to a degree where it's just like, oh, this is the biggest.
But you have to repeat it, because not everyone listens every time.
But also it clearly works, right? I mean, people care about this tournament more than they care about most other tournaments. Same with Cologne, right? Like obviously something about how they present this makes people care about it more, and that's only a good thing.
And it's not even like a biased thing. It's like if Cologne doesn't exist, that doesn't make every other tournament more important.
Yeah,
it's not like PGL would then instantly be, oh, now has like it doesn't. If it doesn't have legacy, it doesn't have legacy, right?
Yeah.
If it has legacy, you.
I mean, if they keep Astana going for another 5 years, who knows? Maybe that's going to be there, or Cluj, maybe
you need to build that on your own, and that doesn't really take away or from anyone else. So I think that's.
But it's like ESL. Like one thing that ESL is really good at is like giving each of their products a different vibe, right? Like making sure that they like the same product from one to the other has the same feeling to it, so that like people have the familiarity of it like come across. That's why ESL probably looks a certain way with like the crazy green, yellow, black, whatever it is thing. That's why Katowice always look the same. It kind of looks very similar to other IEMs, but even still the stage is different. The cup is obviously very different. Cologne has the same exact cup for 10 years now, or whatever it is. Always the one, like they are really good at keeping it consistent, so that people have the familiarity of the tournament. They know what they're coming back to.
Kind of big on this stuff.
By far the best at that. Blast have also been doing a really good job, and I think that's something that PGL doesn't really care about, and I feel like they need to, so that they can make
I think now that they're starting to get a bit more like established room in the calendar and stuff,
that's what I mean with like Astana. I think that's going to be like probably one of their staple tournaments for years to come, because it's obviously been successful. The first time, I would imagine it will be again, especially because the rumor we might get into it a little bit later, but from what we're hearing, it actually is going to be really well attended this year.
Yes,
compared to the last. So like if they keep that going for another few years, and like if they make sure that it also has like that consistent vibe, like maybe they also do come up with like one trophy that will be for that every time.
Yeah. Well, Blast were on the way with the Royal Arena, but now that's not happening.
Yeah, they didn't.
Also, Royal Arena went down,
right?
Yeah. When Astralis wasn't good anymore. So.
Yeah.
So, and even before that, I mean, they were already closing out like the top rungs for long enough.
Black curtains. I remember when we did one show from there.
But that's it's fine. It doesn't really matter. The number of attendees, the percentage of the arena sold out doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
In a degree.
As long as there's enough to create that.
Yeah, it needs to cultivate an atmosphere. Yes.
So if it's a 20,000 arena, but like there's 15,000 people there, and the rest is blacked out, I don't really care.
That's fine. Yeah, but that's a different.
They did a good job at like not making it feel like it was empty,
Yeah,
because it was because they closed it
is what it is. There's not that many consistent big things around the world in Counter-Strike or in esports in general. So
that's what I was saying, like that's why
trophy.
That's why ESL make these two, especially these two tournaments, because I think everybody understands it has its own vibe and it has its own appeal, I think, to some degree, but like obviously these two on the sides are way more important, there's way more legacy behind them.
It's also a great thing for them, like in terms of ticket sales, in terms of marketing.
That's what I mean. People just care way more.
You don't really need to advertise a Cologne. I feel like I don't know. Obviously, you see that other tournaments get advertised through whatever means, HLT, Instagram, whatever. But this is stuff that just gets sold on its own because it's so big. So that
I don't know.
You built it, and now you can like farm, which is nice.
I mean, like you can see it from like they're increasing ticket sales every single time, right? And they keep selling out.
Supply versus demand, baby.
Yeah.
How long have we been going on?
I don't know, Lucas. How long?
Hello.
How long?
You have been going on for 1 hour and 36 minutes.
All right, so we can start wrapping. Top comment. Let's get into that, shall we?
Comment? Yeah,
YouTube comments every week. If you leave a comment, you get the most votes. I guess it's likes. I guess that's what they're calling it on the streets these days. You could win yourself a Vitality jersey.
That was such a Astana moment. That was such a Astana hosting moment.
By Stake, okay? Vitality. And they're all the rage these days, the Vitality jersey. They're fucking flying off the shelves because they keep on winning. So if you want one, comment on the video of this one that you would be watching live right now. Hopefully the VOD in the future. Okay, what was the top comment from last week?
There's a few. I'm building up to 122 comments, so thanks for everyone for
There's
commenting.
So many more comments.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy in the comment section.
Eric Puchlak 2591 says, I don't remember what this was about, but there is a way bigger chance that Falcons get another star player than Kerrigan retiring. Be for real, guys. Obviously, because there was a lot of talk about Falcons.
What does he know?
Well, I don't know, Eric.
Maybe he does know something.
Eric must know.
What do you know, Eric? Email us.
There's another one was regarding Virtus Pro because we were talking about them last episode. Bolu Bear, I love bears. He says one Swedish visa agent ended Virtus Pro's whole career.
True.
Not really career, but the lineup.
It shouldn't be funny, but it's funny.
It is kind of, yeah. But maybe it just made it all go faster, which sometimes better.
Good. Speeds things up, yeah.
Falcons Hate Watch, a bunch of comments. I just picked up two. One from People Productions, also great name. Energizing win for insert any team playing against Falcons. You really hope to see insert any team playing against Falcons.
Another copy pasta.
Have strong showings, especially against opposition like is this a copy pasta?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, this is one. The other one was Sean Watt 6. The Falcons Hate Watch feast was fulfilling last year. I'm looking forward to a full stomach again in 2026. And we've been off to a good start with some tasty appetizers.
Okay.
It was a good one. It was a good formulation, right?
Yeah.
And there's like 5-6 more on like the same topic, but these are the two favorites.
Okay.
Ultimately, the winning comment from Looney Noob.
Good one.
This is about something you were talking before when we went live. Can we just appreciate how much SPUNJ brings into the community?
Is this the top comment?
Between the ESL skits and all the great podcasts, while also being one of the best live commentators in the scene. 165 comments and 8 replies.
Didn't vote for me in the fucking HLTV Awards, though, did you guys? What happened there?
Maybe all of them did. Maybe all the guys that are actually unconfirmed did.
Well,
Who knows?
Thank you for the kind words. Guess what? It's rigged. We view botted the votes. Is that the wait? That's not the top comment. That is the top.
That is the top comment.
Oh, thank God. I was going to say if he didn't win, he should have.
Yeah.
So, what was his name?
Looney Noob.
Looney. Well, the name Looney that normally goes with crazy. Well, anyway, he can't be a noob and crazy. A crazy noob.
Crazy Noob.
Well, I appreciate the words, Mr. Crazy Noob, and everyone who agree with the sentiment. All right.
Yeah. We'll also put on some bonus riddles from Steak on the screen now, so people that are interested in that.
Bonus what?
Riddles.
Riddles.
You don't need to know anything about them. It's just for the fans.
I'm also intrigued.
You're intrigued. So
In-game leader, ambulance plus stars amount on Vitality jersey.
yeah.
Goat country plus other.
So you
goat
put these two
country.
together, you get one word with no plus or whatever, and you get that. You go on your if you're a Steak
Solve
user.
the riddle and
Oh,
for a $10
okay, like that
bonus.
riddles. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember to gamble responsibly. But thank you to Steak,
Yes.
and I hope the Looney Noob likes his jersey. Thank you, Looney Noob. All right.
That's it, I think, from our obligatory parts of the show.
That you've written here, Cluj-Napoca next,
Yes.
and Astana versus Atlanta, Steak ranked. When are we going to do the next episode?
I think only after Cluj, or maybe during Cluj, if there's a hole.
PGL, they're homies too.
Yeah, they also hook up.
give PCs.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to be there. Are you coming there? Probably not.
No.
I'm
Well,
flying.
we're
on
going to be
Thursday.
there.
Well, we could, if you want to do one live from there or something like this, that's also fine. But you have
We
to
could
do
maybe
it
grab
that
a player for once. Like we never
Mate,
had a really
I'll
had a
tell you
problem.
this: as someone who does another podcast where we try and get players
That's hard.
at every event we go to, it's an impossibility.
Okay.
It
Yeah, I
is the
figured.
hardest thing.
It's
in
the golden era of getting players on podcasts
It is dead.
is over.
It's dead.
It's
yeah,
over.
yeah.
It's
I mean,
the
that's partly
hardest
why
thing
we
to do.
stopped, like to a degree, right? Because it was just hard to get.
Well, we
Yeah.
tried to pivot. We were like, okay, we'll just get them on for shorter period of time because also it's weird when we're talking about topics that maybe they don't care about or know anything about, and they
Or
just
you
fucking
don't want to
sit
say
in there.
anything about
And then
it.
the comments are like, man, that didn't involve this guy, and it's like, well, he didn't have anything to say anyway.
He didn't want to.
I
be.
mean, just watch the desk with JL.
Be nice to JL, all right? He was nervous speaking live.
Yeah.
He's said that, okay?
Yeah.
He said that.
It's a friendly. It's from friendly banter.
He dressed nicely.
He did. Yeah.
He looked the part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all honestly. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
It's not an easy job.
No, he goes. It's harder doing this than playing. I was like, mate, you want a major MVP? What are you talking about?
I mean, he's good at playing. He's pretty good. She's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
Harder in the sense of like, yeah, he hasn't spent 15,000 hours preparing for this moment.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
of course, it's gonna be harder.
It's different. It's a different ball game. There's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot there, more than just knowing about the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
But well, let's not. This is a long topic.
Yeah,
This is a long topic.
topic.
This is a long one. Do we want to
Totally
do
banter.
anything? So obviously,
Let's just do a wrap up the last few topics. That we
okay,
have.
so Cluj is easy. So Cluj, as we've touched upon, the two teams who aren't going to be there, who probably wish they were now, are going to be Liquid as well as Spirit. Spirit's the main
Yeah.
one. Otherwise, we have all the other big names. It's 16 teams. It's Swiss best of 3 group stage with top 8 teams progressing to a 3-day arena playoffs. 4 best of 3s on the Friday. The 2 semifinals on the Saturday, and then a third place decider into a best of 5 final on the Sunday. It's 1.25 million, I think. So
Yep.
not messing around with the prize pool. RPGO, obviously, they're starting to do the club share stuff too. And this year, they are no longer being cock blocked by the Cabal. Everybody's going.
Almost.
Almost. Well, Spirit went to their
Liquid
events
still
last year.
thinks there's a cabal.
Yeah, they didn't get the memo. They didn't get the message.
They opened the email from last year. They thought it was a new one.
If anything, with the way they're playing at the moment, PG are like, thank God they're not here. Like, fuck me. But yeah, this can also bleed into our next topic because there's not too much to say about this. We've just seen this end.
Yeah, we kind
most
of
of those
we kind of
teams-
prefaced it a bunch through the conversation.
Yes, FaZe need a bounce back. Falcons need a bounce back. This could bleed into the next topic, though, which you had here as Astana versus Atlanta and the Steak ranked.
Yeah.
From what we understand, Astana will have the better teams.
I think
Also
even
has
by
$1.6 million
quite
prize
a
pool.
bit, even and from what I hear, yeah, but I think it's gonna be
Well,
something.
Astana's 1.6 versus 300 for
It's 1 mil.
No, 1 mil is now
for
everything
all of them. Oh, okay, yeah.
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 We're not doing the we could do the distinction of club share if we want.
No. I'm just talking total. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from what I hear, it's going to be something like 7 top 10 teams versus 3. Obviously, the Astana invites haven't actually gone out, and it's possible some of the top 10 teams that skipped Atlanta will not even go to Astana. Unlikely, of course, but I'm just saying, like, as a possibility.
Yeah, that is true. I guess we don't know what the Astana list is.
Yeah, we don't know because it's only going to go out at the beginning of next month. So so it's still going to wait for that. But from what we hear, 7 top 10 teams skipped Atlanta, and even a few more below that threshold. So quite a few. From what I hear, it's a lot down to do with visas, as you would imagine, with teams like Falcons, with who obviously have had problems with Kyosuke for a few times now. Spirits, Paravision, all these Russian teams that are obviously going to have a much easier time getting into Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
So those teams you can definitely expect to go to Kazakhstan along with a bunch of the others. So. Yeah, at first I thought it was going to be more of a 50-50 split, but it's even heavier than that towards Astana.
Yeah, so that kind of covers.
I saw fucking Johnny Speeds got an invite to the closed qualifier for Atlanta, and they're like number 53.
I think this is also what I'm hearing is that it's a lot of teams saying no to online qualifiers, not trying to play online qualifiers. We saw even Hunter Thieves skipping some stuff because they are scared of what the VRS implications are, especially if this qualifier is happening before the cutoff, it can negatively affect your major. And it's like, why would I, even if there is like a 5-10% chance, why would I risk my major qualification or like the seed that I have for playing a tournament like this? And I think it's the VRS thing just keeps going on, like more knowledge, more planning, and then like how teams approach, then that affects how the TOs do stuff, and it's a cycle of adaptation, just like going down the chain, which is interesting, but it might end up with like a pretty shit $1 million event.
Well, it's going to be similar to like a PGL level as we saw last year, right? Like that's effectively what we can expect, maybe slightly better, just because as Chad said, Vitality is going to be there to make sure that they can have the best chance to win the Grand Slam. Yeah. So at least that, like the top team is going to be there, and then a couple more throughout the top 10.
It would be kind of, I want to say the first word that came to my mind is pathetic to win a Grand Slam with like nobody there. Teams. Like imagine if it is like 3 top 10 teams and then the rest is like top 30. Like that would feel.
Well, it's gonna be a few.
If you at least get a final where it's like one of the other top 10 teams.
I mean, Liquid's still gonna go to that, so that's like just below the top 10. I think Astralis was one of the others that I heard that are gonna go to Atlanta instead of Astana. So like a couple of these still pretty good pools are gonna be there, I think. So it's not gonna be as bad as that, quite as bad as that, but it's obviously, again, more of a vibe of like Bucharest last year for PGL, right? Or even a Cluj last year for PGL. Like that's sort of a level from Atlanta, Astana.
I think that the thing is, like, there's still going to be a DreamHack Festival,
right?
So I think there's still a DreamHack Festival in Atlanta. So it should be okay. It should be fine. We'll see what happens. I think this is. You were talking about teams making choices. There's also TOs who are going to make choices, right? And in terms of how they run these certain events, but that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. We're only a year and a bit into the VRS. I was talking in 2024 when that was coming to its conclusion, like we're entering the new world order. And if anything, Counter-Strike's only healthier now than it was before then.
Yeah,
it's actually so good. Like it's just going from strength to strength. Obviously, we had some teams fold and go under, but those are for
some
different
TOs
reasons.
Potentially. We'll see more about that.
Yeah, is there any? Have you heard anything?
I mean, we saw Messiel's tweet about Fisher, right?
Yeah, the payments.
That's payments, and that's what we've been hearing for a while now.
Oh, guys, like, come on.
And certain honestly,
TOs, they don't pay for ages.
Yeah, I mean that's also part of it, but also their tournament, like the one that they schedule in China, is like right between Rio and Fort Worth,
right? Yeah,
which is like, and like literally just in that gap, and it's like, you're not going to travel across continents like with a day between. I would imagine either it's going to be a really badly attended event or it's just not going to happen at all.
This here is the reputational damage, right? And then in the future, if they still around, people hopefully don't go.
Yeah, I mean that's what Valve hope, right? The only problem with that approach or like with that sort of philosophy is that ultimately, even if you don't pay out the prize money, it actually still matters on the VRS, and there needs to be some level of involvement from Valve.
Isn't that the Mesa strategy?
The what? Mesa
strategy.
Well, that's well, I got allegation. That is the allegation.
Hey, what about the prize money? Though, you think that ever changed hands? Who won the Mesa event?
Correct.
Let's ask they would have got paid.
You can ask. But yeah, obviously, the problem is that some teams are still going to be pressured into going just because the prize money is promised as such, and also it will be kind of unfair to punish teams for attending an event that promises prize money. after it doesn't pay it out, you know, like it's also a very difficult choice to make if you're Valve. Obviously, you can punish the tournament organizer in the future. Like they're not going to be able to get licensed for the next year or whatever it is.
We spoke to them. I don't think that's the way they're going to go. Do you?
Well, at some points, you know, if it becomes a big enough problem, I do think that, I mean, Valve have been known to put their foot down when they see a problem that is big enough.
With the fucking the fees that they were charging. Remember how they sent those emails out? That like if you wanted to sign up,
but it was mostly actually the fees are kind of fine. It's just about the timing of giving other people.
Yeah, you just can't give them ahead of time to like certain select teams. That was the biggest problem.
Yeah.
All right, let's wind this up.
Yeah, just the last one is the stake tournament, because we were talking about VRS and like the major and everything. Last time we were talking about like open tournaments, and this is not an open tournament, so that's why I wasn't on the list. But essentially the last like smaller LAN, it's a tier 2 LAN with 8 teams, 100K on the line just before the VRS cutoff. So it's going to be adding to all of that.
I mean, it actually must be getting pretty well attended in that case, just because like out of the teams that are not,
some open qualifiers are happening like now. I don't know how many. Then there's a closed qualifier. Then that LAN that's like April 1st to or 2nd to 5th, 2nd to 4th,
1st to 4th,
like that.
I think.
Yeah. Even though there's a bit of an overlap with Bucharest, which is interesting how that's going to play out for Bucharest or this, because some teams might want to prioritize that even over a Bucharest that is $1 million.
Probably more likely to get some Lenman's rights and things like that. So could see that.
And like Bucharest won't do anything because it's not going to finish before the cutoff. So that's an interesting one to keep.
Right, of course.
Keep track of.
Should we wind it up?
Yeah.
Is it bedtime? Well, you got to drive.
I have 3 hours to drive.
I'm gonna vibe.
I go a flight in 9 hours.
Okay.
So I'm on the shuttle in 6 or 6.5.
Okay.
And then home for a couple of days, and away we go. So that is it. Yep. All right. Well, that's IEM Krakow.
Yeah.
This is HLTV Confirmed.
We might do something. We're looking into doing something in Stockholm for EPL.
Yes.
We're looking into locations and stuff and doing something, not a podcast.
No.
But the pub quiz idea.
Yeah.
So if people have ideas of where to do it or are interested, message us.
Yeah, because I've been to a couple pub quizzes in my time. We would need to work out how many people per table.
Yeah.
And then if you were like a pair, you would join another table, and we'd also have to work out the rounds and everything. But we'd probably do like some Q&A stuff in there as well as doing the pub quiz itself.
All pauses,
and then we work out
maybe play some frag movies
to give away. Yeah, fucking hell. So we'll see what happens with that, but that's a couple weeks away. So Cluj is the next 2 weeks, and then after that it's a couple days off, and then it goes into EPL for
online,
2 weeks after that. Yeah, so online groups into the playoffs, which will be on LAN in an arena. I don't know what the attendance is meant to be for there, but they've been selling tickets for that one, and it's pretty cool. Like 3 straight arena events. All ESL events are arena events this year. It's kind of nice. Yeah. Just need to get rid of this fucking online group stage.
God intended.
Yeah, which they are doing. So that's great news. All right. Well, hope everyone enjoyed tuning into this. Pretty much immediate reactions after the final has ended. We'll be out of here. Thanks to Steak. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see everybody next time.